Began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Arrests were made in Tuscaloosa days after a missing man's body was found in a wooded area. 64-year-old Betty Williamson and 45-year-old Ricky Duncan are facing abuse of a corpse charges. Braxton Connell was last seen October 3rd in the town of Coling. The cause of death for Braxton will be determined by an autopsy. Investigators believe that the use of illegal drugs was a factor in his death. Wrongful death lawsuits have been filed against 2 former members of the men's basketball team for the University of Alabama. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of the estate of Jamia Harris, who was shot and killed in January of this year. Brandon Miller and Darius Miles are named in the lawsuits. Miles is also facing criminal charges related to the death of Harris, while Miller is not. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hello, this is Sky Mosley for the Alabama Gazette, your hometown conservative newspaper. The Alabama Gazette, always published under the banner of God, family, and country. They share your principles, your values, and the Alabama Gazette has the courage to defend those convictions in print. The Gazette celebrates their 24th anniversary, October 26th. There will be a big to-do downtown at their beautiful offices. The public is invited, food and fun for the entire family. Meanwhile, please consider advertising with the Alabama Gazette. They are most worthy of your support. Give them a call, 356-6700. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. That's the Alabama Gazette. 356-6700. Remember, advertising space is limited for that big 24th anniversary issue, so give them a call right now, 356-6700. The Alabama Gazette, informative, honest, trustworthy, your conservative alternative. That's the Alabama Gazette, 356-6700.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
This afternoon, we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
I got words. I got hairy legs.
How dare you?
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, here on a lovely Monday. Of course, Eddie Bader is in the house. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing well. How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right.
I feel a little underdressed, I gotta be honest.
I didn't wear.
I thought we were
didn't.
going fishing
I thought we were
today.
going to. You tell me when we wear our team shirts.
It's laundry day, man. I just grab a
All
shirt
right,
and go.
and it is comfy.
Yes.
But enough of our jib jab. I don't have time for you right now. By the way, I'll tell our guests before I announce them. If you want to hit them in the face, you're more than allowed to.
At least let's have the conversation going before you put that out there.
I'm
now
just
he's
saying.
probably going to be like,
I don't want to surprise him. But in the studio here, we have the Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, Wes Allen, in the studio. How you doing, Wes?
Yes, sir. I'm well. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm not going to hit you. You're
All
good.
right. Well,
You're
we'll
fine.
check again about mid-show.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
keep
right.
talking to him.
Okay. All right.
Keep talking to him. I do it every day.
I don't know what's going on between y'all two. Y'all need to settle down.
Well, you see the paddle back there? It's to keep him in line.
Oh,
All right. Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
It's
I
more
see it.
boat oar.
Yeah.
But how you doing?
Good. Man,
Good.
we've been working 9 months now in office, so it's been good.
And
it goes quick, you know.
You've got a lot done in this 9 months, I would say.
Well, the team we've got, and I've said it, you know, when I went around the state to talk to various groups, that we put together a first-round draft pick team.
Yeah.
I mean, no, listen, if you don't surround yourself with good people, you're not going to be very successful. Good coaches do that with great coaches. So, you know, it's about having a team that has the same philosophy, conservative philosophy that I do, and the team that has the same philosophy of getting up every day and working hard for the people of this state and knowing who pays the bills. It's the taxpayers, and knowing that we work for them and it's not the other way around. So, you know, it's been good. I'm just blessed and honored to be able to drive up to that Capitol each and every day and go to work representing the fine people of Alabama as their Secretary of State.
Well, and just to remind folks, that you come from, I think, a long line of folks who have served in some capacity.
Sure.
And in particular, I was thinking about your father that served so long.
Sure.
Like, when you think about the family and the folks that have made that example, how does that lead you being a Secretary of State now?
Well, watching their years of service, my grandfather was a 4-term county commissioner in Tuscaloosa, and of course my dad's was in the House and now is in the Senate, and been watching his years of service and how he takes care of his district and his people, and getting up each and every day and working for them. I mean, it's definitely had an impact in watching those guys and how they operate and how they just get up and work hard each and every day.
Yeah, and it's I'm realizing I'm becoming more like my father or my grandfather. Good ways and bad.
That's right.
A little thicker in the middle, laughing at myself before I can even finish a joke. But it's kind of set in stone. This is my fate.
Yeah.
And so I think we're both heading on the right path here. But if in terms of getting that all-star team,
Man, got somebody weed eating
who's
right
weed
outside.
eating right now?
I love it. Hey,
This is what I deal
he's
with.
out there working, man.
Right.
Yeah, you know, listen, he's making the place look nice, okay?
Exactly.
But we'll just have to, you know,
Power
deal with
through.
it. Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask, given you've put together this all-star team, is there anybody you kept on or more than just personnel? Or we'll get to the things you've changed and the big changes you've made, but are there certain ideas that came up, from past secretaries that you've kept in place? You're like, this is how we're still going to do it.
Yeah, I think there's several things that, that we're not going to change, we're not going to touch. One person I do want to mention that's been there and that we elevated to Chief of Staff is Clay Helms. He's with us today, and, he's been in that office for 12 years. He started right out of school in Auburn as an intern under previous administrations and worked his way up. Intern, Director of Voter Registration, Director of Elections, Deputy Chief of Staff, and now he's Chief of Staff. And so we're very fortunate to have that institutional knowledge that he's seen through multiple administrations. And so, it's good to have him on board. Great to have him on board, and those other guys that got Jeff Elrod back to the office. He was under in the previous administration, so he's back on board with us, and he's our go-to guy as far as it pertains to being Director of Elections.
Again, folks, talking to the Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, Wes Allen, 9 months into the job. And as we mentioned earlier, in those 9 months, you've done a lot. A big thing you ran on is getting rid of the ERIC system for keeping tabs on our voter rolls here in the state, and you've replaced it with AVID?
Yes.
And so let's start with why ERIC was just not up to snuff, not up to par.
Okay. ERIC, for your listeners, it stands for the Electronic Registration Information Center. It was a group of states that came together. It's a third-party vendor, nonprofit that was put together by some folks that probably don't think like you and I, Joey. And so on the campaign trail, early on, you remember this, you and Eddie, I'm sure remember this, I promised to pull Alabama and withdraw Alabama out of the ERIC system. And I think that's kind of refreshing for people and voters, that when someone makes a campaign promise, once they get in, they fulfill that. And we did that day one. I mean, when I raised my right hand, took the oath, stepped off the stage, went back to the office, signed the letter to officially withdraw from ERIC, I think the voters of this state saw that when we say something, and that when I promise something, that we're going to fulfill it. We're going to go through with it. But there was a lot of personal information, specifically with minors that were not even of voting age yet. They were approaching voter age. But what ERIC was doing was identifying those individuals through the driver's license system and through the information that Alabama was supplying about those who are eligible but unregistered to vote. Now, mind you, those individuals that were eligible but unregistered had already told the driver's license offices when they went to renew their driver's license, no, I don't want to be registered to vote. And so, as being a part of ERIC, one of the things that you had to do if you were one of those states, when you identified those individuals that were eligible but unregistered, you had to send them a postcard. And of course, that's taxpayer expense, and they've already declined. So,
right.
So those were the things that caused some issues that I just didn't think it was a good fit for Alabama. And plus, the information was going out of state. I thought we could come up with an Alabama-based solution here in Alabama, located here in Alabama. We know where the server is, and that sort of thing. So we're very, very pleased with what we've been able to accomplish over these last 9 months.
Well, and before we get into exactly what AVID is, a four-pronged approach, folks, and I think a pretty good one. What were some of the knocks on? There's no way we could build an Alabama-based system, and maybe we can knock down some of these criticisms as we describe the system you have gotten to build.
Right. Some of the criticism was you don't have the resources to do what the Electronic Registration Information Center was able to put together. We've, I think, proven that false. We've been able to do that, like where are you going to get the people, where are you going to get the money, this, that, and the other. But we've been able to garner and to leverage. We had so many meetings across state government when we first stepped into office, meeting with Alabama Department of Public Health, meeting with Department of Revenue, meeting with just meeting with all these other agencies to see ALEA, to see how we could leverage each other and all the information that the state already has access to. I would just tell our critics that we've been able to do it. We feel confident about where we are and where we are moving forward with AVID and how we're going to maintain our voter file, because voter file maintenance is the foundation for election security.
Well, there you go. And what I like about the idea here, at least my sense of AVID, is you are tapping into databases that are already well established, that everybody already uses. So, right. Because people use it, it's a reliable source. So these are like four different pots you're pulling from, though. Right. So let's go through each one of these.
Yeah. The first one is the interagency agreement with ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. And let me just say that Secretary Hal Taylor and his team over there at ALEA have been fantastic to work with. And he's got the same philosophy that I know you and I believe in about election security as well. And so we've been working really well together. But basically, if someone moves out of state, a John Doe decides that he's leaving Alabama, he's got to get a job somewhere in Louisiana or wherever it may be, and he goes to that other state and gets a driver's license in another state, that other state alerts Alabama that, hey, John Doe has a driver's license in our state. Alabama cancels that credential, their former driver's license in Alabama, so they cancel that out. And we get that information, and then we start working that data, and then we send the postcard to John Doe and say, hey, we've received information that you may have moved. Please update your information or tell us if it's not true. If we got it wrong, please tell us. And then, or if it is true, take yourself off the voter registration list. But it takes, what most folks don't realize is it takes 4 years to remove someone if they've moved out of state or if they haven't died. If you die, you're obviously removed. Instantaneously. It doesn't take 4 years, obviously.
Right.
So it takes 4 years in compliance with the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. So we've already identified over 8,500 individuals that have secured driver's licenses in other states. And that, let me go back real quick, because you said the critics had said, well, you're not going to have access to all 31 states that were a part of ERIC at the zenith. Well, with this solution, with driver's license information, that's a 49 state solution. So,
right.
And so we feel confident. We've got the data, the 8,500 we've already identified moving out of state. We've sent those postcards to start working that data to put them on a path of removal. Now, those names are moved to an inactive status. So let's just say that somebody moved today, got the driver's license, but before the election of 24, they want to move back to Alabama. When they walk in the precinct on election day, they're going to see John Doe's inactive. They have to do an update form in the precinct to correct that and be able to vote. So there are multiple layers in here to make sure that our voter file maintenance, as far as that's concerned, is high quality and up to the high standard that we want to maintain, and making sure we abide by the law. The second part, and Joey, that we've done extensive work with is the National Change of Address list file that's kept by the Postal Service. So if that John Doe alerts the Postal Service that they're moving to Louisiana, please forward my Alabama-based address mail to my new address in Louisiana, for instance, they'll do that. The Postal Service will do that. We've already identified 30,000 individuals that have alerted the Postal Service to say, hey, forward our mail.
Well, and I'd imagine that's even more clear that somebody's moved. Like, you could get a driver's license elsewhere for military, other reasons. But when you do a forwarding address, okay, you've moved out of the state.
That's a pretty clear indication and some pretty good evidence that you're taking the steps to move your residence out of state. So, but we're working that data as well as we did the driver's license. We sent them the postcard in compliance with the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. Again, it takes 4 years to remove someone. So we aren't just willy-nilly just pulling people. We can't do that. We've got to abide by the federal law, and that's what we're doing. The third part is our state partnerships, the third prong. We're working with all of our border states, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, and Mississippi. We've also signed an agreement, a bilateral agreement with Arkansas, and we're working with a couple of other states, even as we speak, to sign and to execute agreements with them to exchange voter file data with those states. So another criticism that we had is that, hey, you've jumped out of ERIC, 30 states. What are you going to do with exchanging your data with these other states? We've never been able to exchange data with Tennessee and Mississippi because they were never a part of ERIC. So for the first time ever, we'll be exchanging that voter file data with those two states. We've already started with Tennessee. We've found over 8,000 individuals who are registered in Tennessee, who are also registered in Alabama. We're working that data as well to send those postcards to identify who truly moved and who hadn't moved. And so we're very confident moving forward about the momentum we're picking up with other states to sign bilateral agreements with them. And the server is in Montgomery.
Like that.
We put our hands on it. We know where the data is. It's hashed and encrypted. And so we're very confident in the steps that we are taking. And of course, Joey, the fourth and
he's just answering calls. It's all right. Like I said, ignore him or hit him or something like that.
The fourth and final prong is the National Death Index that is kept by the Social Security Administration. And so again, if somebody travels out of state, they unfortunately pass away out of state, we'll have access to that data now, a nationwide master list per se of those individuals that pass away out of state that are Alabama residents. Now the Alabama Department of Public Health supplies the state with those individuals that pass away within our borders. So this is a four-prong approach. It's very unique. We've already had some phone calls with some other states saying, hey, how did y'all manage to put this together so quickly? But it's just hard work, getting in there every day and getting the job done.
Again, folks, talking to Wes Allen, Secretary of State of the great state of Alabama. A couple of follow-up questions. Well, one is, first off, fun. You actually went up to the so-called physical address of Eric. Tell folks that story.
So, when I signed the letter, when I came off the stage on Inauguration Day, we sent it out, and I was in D.C. in February that next month and for a meeting of other secretaries, and my first meeting to meet all my counterparts from around the country. I said, you know what, I think I want to stop by and just say hello and see where they're physically located. Well, I went by the address that's listed on their website, went inside. The receptionist, the young lady was there, and I said, I'm here to see the Electronic Registration Information Center. I think they're, suite and whatever it was at the time. And she said, there's nobody here by that name. So that was concerning. And of course, we made a bit of news, with that once we kind of told everyone they weren't there. So, just red flags.
Where was that thing going then? Where was the data going?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. And then also with your cooperation with Aaliyah, now it applies to what we just went over, the driver's license. Say there's any ballyhoo on election day. Does that partnership allow for maybe a even swifter response, knowing that you have law enforcement that you can count on while you also have your office looking to net discrepancies?
Repeat the first part of that question. I didn't hear you.
So if there's
what'd you say?
Ballyhoo.
Okay.
If somebody's cheating on election day.
Okay.
And you catch wind of it, somebody in your office catches wind of it, is there an advantage now having a partnership with Aaliyah on that day on election day?
No, I don't think so as far as that aspect of what Aaliyah is fulfilling for us. Custody of the ballots and security of the precincts is up to the local sheriffs in every county. And of course, if something is happening on election day, we're going to get on the phone if shenanigans are taking place at a precinct, or if we suspect or hear things that may be taking place. We'll call those local law enforcement officers to kind of check into it and to go from there.
Well, and I was wondering, because it looks like you still got a good head of hair. When I was watching all this redistricting and all the litigation around it, I saw you in the press were like, hey, we've got a deadline. I need this by this time. And it seems like the courts and everybody else just ignored you, so at least you didn't pull all your hair out.
No, I didn't. It's still there. But no, we had told them October 1st was, we needed to have it so we could get whatever map, And of course, and I want to say, I got to be careful because the case is still ongoing. But, to get the map, whichever map, pushed out to all of the boards of registrars, all 67 of those offices, so they could implement the changes if their county had any changes. It takes a lot of work, and it's just not something that can be done. I mean, guys, we're talking making sure that people are in the correct precinct, in the correct district, and that takes time. You got to alert individuals, the voters. You got to send the postcards to say, hey, you're no longer in District 2, Congressional District 2. You're now in District 1. You voted such and such at the church down the street now. So it's a lot of effort that goes into it, and it just doesn't happen. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of coordinated effort between the registrar's office and our office to make sure we can get this taken care of in a timely manner.
Now, if folks are kind of wondering, I'm not sure where I vote. If they have any sort of discrepancy in that regard, is the website a good resource? Phone number?
Yeah, you can go to the Secretary of State's website, sos.alabama.gov, and log on there. And it's under the Elections tab. Just scroll down, you'll see it. You can find yourself who your legislator is, who your state senator is. It takes it all the way down to precinct level.
Okay, and I'd imagine...
If you are a registered voter.
Right. And, of course, if folks call 242-7200, they can get help in all sorts of ways. Even if it's it's not technically y'all's job, I'm sure y'all can help them out a little bit.
Oh, we get calls about
because we do, so I imagine you do.
We get all kind of calls about all different subject matter, and not even election related. And
you just answer the phone.
But that's really good because, Joey, when I was a probate judge in Pike County years ago, when folks walked in the courthouse, they were looking for help and they had an issue. And no matter when they took that left-hand turn to come into my office there where I was in the probate office, whether or not we were titling or tagging their vehicle or recording a deed or a mortgage or renewing their driver's license or whatever it may have been, their issue they were dealing with was what was most important to them. And so we were a liaison to a lot of different people in that courthouse, but also county, but also, Congressman Roby at the time. We knew how to get, so if they had a VA issue, if they had a Social Security issue. So my philosophy is I saw it as our duty, no matter who it was, if they came in our office, they were our customer, and we wanted to help them. And so I brought that local experience, that philosophy that we work with in the courthouse, to the state capitol, and it, the team has bought into that, and they will bend over backwards to help anybody. And even though we may not be able to solve their problem, we know somebody at Revenue, we know somebody at Medicaid, we know somebody across state government. So we want to help folks.
That's
what we're
great.
here for.
That makes you part of the solution instead of part of the problem.
Exactly. Well, and I was thinking that based on Alabama code, y'all have a lot of responsibilities that I think create overlap with you in a lot of different agencies, right?
We do. We've got over 1,000 different statutory duties that we've been given by the state legislature over the years. So it's a lot. And when we came into office, I wanted to make sure I could get my arms around the office and learn as much as I possibly could. I mean, I've got so much more I need to learn, but with a great team around us, I kind of anchored down in the office and really worked, and we kind of put off our speaking engagements and radio interviews and things, till about July or August. And I did a couple of things before then, but really we wanted to kind of get in, roll our sleeves up, and get to work.
Well, it's good having you on the program. I know you got to run.
Yeah.
But anytime y'all want to stop by, just have Faith text me or something, and we'll make it work.
Well, Joey, can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Eddie, thank you.
It was good to see you, man.
Yes, sir, and I'm not going to punch you, okay?
See you, Joey.
You haven't talked that much yet.
He hasn't.
Yeah, he's being good.
He hasn't.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joey.
Thank you. More news and views after this.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. Don't miss the annual Pumpkin Festival this weekend at Sweet Creek Farm Market. This year, it's bigger than ever. Bring your family for a day of fun for all ages. There will be an arts and crafts show with more than 50 vendors featuring Alabama-made products. The Pumpkin Festival at Sweet Creek Farm Market will have food trucks, bonfires, live music, and entertainment. The kids will love the petting zoo, face painting, pony rides, cakewalks, and inflatables. And don't forget about the pumpkins, and more pumpkins. Come join in on the family fun. Look up Sweet Creek Farm Market on Facebook for all the details. Come celebrate fall at the annual Pumpkin Festival this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. Sweet Creek Farm Market, 2 miles south of Taylor Road on Highway 231 South. See you at Sweet Creek Farm Market at the Pumpkin Festival.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company, run by Alabamians for Alabamians. 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those.
Yeah, that one. Okay, the lot sec looks good.
Just go to 1819news.com
yeah,
to learn
tilt
more.
it down
Subscribe
a
to
little
our
bit.
newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your fall market report on real estate in the River region. From January through September of 2023, close to 3,600 homes have sold and closed in our area through
it's got a pretty
Area
wide
Realtor.
shot. I think
our
that should
average
be
sales
good.
price is approximately $250,000, which makes us one of the most affordable areas in the state to buy a house. So far this year, sellers that listed with an area realtor were blessed with a sales price that was 98% of the listed price or possibly above listed price. Because we have had a severe shortage of houses on the market, the buyers have had to look a little longer to find a home that satisfied their needs. Even with higher rates, local mortgage lenders have found ways for buyers to buy down rates on their mortgages and making the transition from tenants to homeownership possible. For all the details, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
May I help you?
Well, howdy. I'm Bill the electrician. Come to wire up your new air compressors.
Oh, well, okay. Never seen an electrician pull up in a camo Jeep with deer antlers on the front.
Yeah, that 3 points of beauty, ain't it?
No matter what your electrician is driving, make sure it says Crosby Electric on the side. Crosby Electricians will take care of your electrical issues professionally and for a reasonable price.
Bill, you sure you know how to design these circuits?
Well, of course. And if I do get stuck, I got a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah?
YouTube.
Oh, boy.
Crosby Electric has been serving this area for over 50 years. We have the experience to do your job correctly.
Okay, let's try out these new air compressors.
Bill, you blew up my new compressors.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here, take my Jeep. It's yours.
What?
I'll just keep the horns, if that's okay.
Protect your property and yourself. Always call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Chevron is buying Hess for $53 billion.
The acquisition comes as major producers seize the initiative while oil prices surge. The Chevron-Hess deal comes less than 2 weeks after ExxonMobil said it would acquire Pioneer Natural Resources for about $60 billion. Crude prices are up 9% this year and have been hovering around $90 per barrel for about 2 months.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Hess shares little changed pre-market, while Chevron shares fell 2.3%. Wall Street opened lower this morning with the markets under pressure from higher interest rates and the risk of broader conflict in the Middle East. The yield on the 10-year Treasury briefly touched 5%, a level that it hasn't seen since 2007. Stocks mixed at mid-morning on Wall Street. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got a very warm forecast on this last week of October, and our extended dry period continues. Today, a good bit of sunshine with a high temperature in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll be near 80 Tuesday and Wednesday with more sun, and it looks like low to mid-80s for Thursday and Friday, still storm-free. Our rain prospects are not good. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Appreciate Secretary of State Wes Allen being in the studio with us. Always great having these folks in person. And I think coming up, we're going to have Dr. Stuart Tankersley calling in because some big news dropped.
Good deal. I like
having to do with the COVID vaccine where they found, well, they did an analysis.
Yeah.
and found some extra things they said weren't in there.
Yeah, I've heard
and
people say things like that.
I'm going to wait for the doctor to call in. Hopefully, Stuart Tankersley will be calling in just a moment. But they're saying this is what many doctors suspect is the cause of these supercharged or turbo cancers we're now seeing, where people who are just perfectly healthy all of a sudden have a massive.
Right.
So that I believe that might be Tankersley calling in right there. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you men out. You've been by Montgomery Men's Health, Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been by there, too. We're both clients, so to
Took
speak.
them like maybe an hour or so, if that, to get my results back to me.
Turns out you were cooking in terms of testosterone.
I ain't trying to brag.
Good PSA score, too? I don't mean to pry, but...
Yeah, but still, at my age, I'd play it both ways.
Right.
I get that score, and then I go visit the regular.
Yeah, the finger wag and all that. Right.
Do what you got to do.
But I don't have to do that yet. But, it turns out, folks, that there are a lot of guys, if you are 50, 60, 70 years old, of course, you're naturally going to produce less testosterone.
Oh, yeah. That's
but
just
some
normal.
men at that age cohort still want to have that edge.
Yep.
Well, they can help you do that there at Montgomery Men's Health. But if you're a little, suspicious that your symptoms of being tired, run down all the live long day, no libido, no sex drive to speak of, and you're in your 20s or 30s, that could be low testosterone.
Could be.
So for only $99, it's just a simple blood draw. You can know your testosterone numbers. And if you do have low T, they have treatments there that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments at Montgomery Men's Health experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, and you might even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
You okay?
Yeah, I just swallowed the wrong way there.
Yeah, I'm having trouble too today. I'm
Trying to get
burping
out-
like
Well, I
crazy.
was trying to
Anyway,
get out my man voice in it.
Montgomery Men's Health, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com and be sure to tell them, well, you heard about him here on Noobs and Views in the afternoon. Now, let's go to Dr. Stuart Tankersley. Doc, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, I'm doing great, Joey and Eddie. Thank you. How are y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. Now, I saw the email you sent me this morning. I also heard Andrea Tice's write-up on this. What is going on in this latest study? What's coming out of Canada, you say?
Well, this is, I'll kind of put it in this context. Auburn's quarterback's play is disappointing, right?
Right.
Yes. But this news is catastrophic. That's the quarterback play is a 1 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. This is out. Finally, we have a government in the world who is now saying that these shots are harmful. And what I mean by that is they have discovered, they finally admitted to, we had maybe less than a year ago found out that these Pfizer shots are contaminated with what's called SV40. It is a DNA segment that is used that they use in biological agents in order to infect our cells with things or insert into our DNA things that we can try and treat people with. Well, this contaminant that they now have admitted to, a federal government, Canada's FDA has admitted to, is poison. It is now it's a promoter. It's going to be a promoter of cancers. And this is in the Pfizer. They haven't found them in Moderna, but the Pfizer shots have this promoter in them, and they've known this from the beginning. They've had them from the beginning. And so anybody that has been concerned about and, of course, had loved ones or themselves injured by these shots, we know many of the mechanisms by which this is happening. But this is huge news that now a federal government is acknowledging it. That this has got to be stopped. These shots have got to be pulled from the market immediately.
So just to give it back to you, this is not like, oh, oops, a mistake. It sounds like Pfizer just up and lied about this.
Yes, and that leads to a couple of interesting things. I would encourage anybody to go on Rumble and watch Steve Kirsch's KIRSCH, his interview of 3 scientists. A couple of them are vaccinologists. That's what they've done there. That's what they do. But anyways, this is a earth-shaking interview, and this is so troubling that our governments have known this and not done anything to protect us from them. They knew this, and they're not doing anything to protect us.
Well, and this confirms a trend, right, that there were a lot of doctors saying they're seeing more of these so-called turbo cancers where people weren't presenting before, and it's always already shown up. So that was already suspected, like what the heck is causing this? And this SV40 DNA sequence, this has been known for, 50 years to be associated with causing cancer?
Well, it was they discovered, I think, in the polio vaccines. But the fact is, it's a promoter. It is intentionally designed to insert into our DNA different sequences and to turn on things and to turn off things in our DNA, like cancer protection. There are many mechanisms by which these turbo cancers are developing, as shown by science. There are many mechanisms. But a year and a half ago, I testified in a federal hearing as to a couple of other mechanisms. But this is a new one that is not new to me for the last year, but they finally have a federal government admitting to it.
Well, folks, what would you recommend, folks? Of course, that you just mentioned, watch that interview with Steve Kirsch. But if people are wondering, maybe this is something going on in their own personal life, maybe they got the Pfizer vaccine, what steps can people take?
Number one, do not ever get one of these shots again. And number two, consider detoxing from it, and there are different methods, different protocols for doing that. And number three, get in touch with your legislators, your elected officials, and demand that the coroner in your county or other elected officials start taking it seriously to push back against the medical industrial complex that's poisoning us.
And it really worries me when you see so many, it's not just these companies, they kind of act like government entities, but it's the private companies, it's also the public health authorities. They seem to have all the power, but none of the responsibility. Who's been held accountable for any of this?
No one has. And we thankfully have the wonderful example of Governor DeSantis in Florida with his state health surgeon, Dr. Lapido. They are putting a pause on in their state, and they're investigating it. They have a grand jury, a year-long grand jury impaneled to investigate the problems from these shots. Why Alabama hasn't done this, it's so sad. Every state, every country in the world should have this by now, should know this by now. If they were doing their jobs, they would know all this. But they're not protecting their citizens, which tells you there might be a reason for it.
Well, it's just a crying shame. But I really do appreciate you bringing this to my attention and calling in today, Doc. Is there anything else before I let you go?
Well, the other good thing about this is an application of this. Recently, in a case in Michigan, remdesivir is a treatment that they use in hospitals for people that's ineffective. And a judge ruled, because of the indemnity, because the federal government gave them immunity from injury from any of their poisons, that they can't be held responsible. But in Michigan recently, a federal judge found against remdesivir in Gilead because they had contaminants in their vials, and they can be held responsible for that, it looks like, because the contaminants were not a part of the approved agent. So hopefully this is going to start making people back up that have been doing this, and hopefully that'll be a way of holding them to account. But this is egregious.
It really is, and they're already trying to make people forget or rewrite history. But there's a part of my blood that boils, maybe not just from the spike protein, but every time I go into Fresh Market or Publix or Best Buy, wherever, and you see those stickers on the ground, 6 feet apart, so-called social distancing, or enforced, coerced human separation. Lockdown is what we had, and now we're seeing all these remedies are, not that at all. They're just causing more problems. This
right,
is just
and there are more and more studies. There are more and more studies coming out showing that virtually everything our government has advocated during the pandemic has been the wrong course of action.
Man, well, just a reminder to me that I think the whole daggum thing needs to have a wrecking ball taken to it. And not saying we don't have anything built back, but I'm not in the mood for marginal change right now. And this is one aspect of the federal government that definitely needs a wrecking ball, the public health authorities.
Including, especially in our state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, Doc, and we'll stay in touch and hopefully have you back in the studio here before too long.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
That's Dr. Stuart Tankersley with Concerned Doctors of Alabama, and also just great guy. I think he was formerly on the Alabama Ethics Commission as well. Appreciate his insights on that issue. I mean, how do you feel now, Eddie, that you refuse to take any of those things?
Just as smart as I did the day I refused it.
Yeah, but there's not even a fun part of I told you so by any means, no.
No, because I've lost some friends that...
Oh, really? People wrote you off? We don't have to go into all the details, but...
That's the way it is.
Wow.
That's the way it is.
And you got to wonder how many relationships, friendships, like how much this just wreaked havoc. That entire regime, the virus itself and the entire regime around it.
Yeah, but it's important that, to me, it's important that we all know this was done intentionally for no other reason, mainly to get our reaction. And now they know how we'll act.
Yeah.
Or how we'll sheepishly bend.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by New Look Decorating Center. And they're at New Look Decorating. Brett Lanham and the team. Brett's the manager there at New Look. Well, they can help you with paint selection.
What he's doing with me now.
Really?
Yeah, we're fixing to paint the exterior of that house. I think we know some colors, so I'm actually texting back and forth with Brett right now on getting things lined up.
Like he's advising you on which way to go exactly. So you got a few ideas presented to him.
Yep, and I want to stay within this certain color window, I guess you'd say, because I don't want to suddenly break out a purple where it don't belong.
Right.
So I'm leaving it to the experts. I'm saying this is and actually I took a sample picture to him. I was like, this is what I want my house to look like, these colors. And so that's how he's lining them up. All right, we'll do your columns this color. We do your backdrop this color. So it's working out real well. And it takes a lot of pressure off me. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about getting it wrong. I can always blame it on somebody else now.
There you go. And, of course, they can help you with not just paint, but stain supplies. Or maybe you're interested in wallpaper and fabrics.
Yes.
That's what you need to ask for Katie.
Yes.
Who I hear is pretty awesome.
She is awesome, but she doesn't like jokes about Joey. So just keep that in mind.
Why doesn't she like them?
I don't know. I'm going to find one that she likes. Maybe we ought to do a prank.
No, it sounds like I actually have a real fan, not just one of your buddies who likes making fun of me. And when you know what about that guy, Tasty Cakes over there.
I might could change her.
No, but if you're looking for wallpaper and fabric, especially that in high demand, the Tebow wallpaper. Oh yeah. Katie is the person to ask for in particular. But whoever you talk to, whoever you work with there at New Look Decorating Center, well, you're going to be working with true pros. So give them a call at 271-0007. That's 271-0007. You can also go to newlookdecoratingcenter.com. But I really encourage you to stop by 6237 Atlanta Highway, right where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway. You'll see it in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views. In the afternoon, mention Joey and Eddie for bonus points. More News and Views after this.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. And you know, Eddie, I just was reminded of something. When I watch back the live stream, I'm wondering, is it the mics? Like, my mic's hotter than yours, and maybe that's a bit of it to a degree, but I mean, look how much lower my mic is, like on the board there, and I forget that I have a man voice, and you have like that of a child.
Well, you don't have any children to yell at. That's wasted some of your vocal cords like I've had. Certainly the women in your life are, well, they're non-existent. So again,
did you have a unique yell like when the kid was getting out of line?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I did. He would know it better than I.
It wouldn't even be like words. It was probably just a sound where he's like, oh no.
More or less, yeah. But Justin was a good kid. Honest to God, I was the worst kid growing up. There was not much worse than me. I put my parents through hell, just to torture. So I expected my son would be the same way. Exactly the opposite. I had a great kid.
Well, you're blessed then.
Oh, yeah, lucky.
Yeah, I had a buddy in high school would make fun of fat chicks. I'm like, you know your daughter's going to end up to be a stripper,
That's
right?
terrible. Yeah.
Bad karma right there.
Very bad karma.
I'm not even like Hindu or Buddhist or wherever that comes from.
I think it's Hindu.
Yeah, I love these, by the way, these like, hippie California chicks. Like, start worshiping crystals and like, I'm all Zen. I have a new guru. I'm going to say, like Zen was very popular for the Imperial Japanese. Like, Zen is the feeling of an opponent's head falling off his body after a clean slide. Yeah, that's Zen too.
That's Zen.
There's your moment of Zen right there. Let's go to Brenda. Hey, Brenda.
Hello. I heard the report about Dr. Tankersley, but did not get. I know he talked about Rumble and look up Steve, but I didn't get his last name. Could you give me his last name?
Kirsch. Kirsch.
Kirsch.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate that because I knew this. I didn't take the shot, but I know people who do, and some of them need to see the print in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So I appreciate that, so I can give it to them.
Well, I appreciate you listening, Brenda.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
What's up, Red Top?
Hey, guys. And by the way, I was just talking with Katie over there at New Look, and she is excellent at mixing paint, too. And on top of that, she's married to a football coach.
All right.
Nice.
Who happens to be coach for one of my biggest customers' sons.
Oh.
That's a small world.
It's a small world, man. Eddie probably knows her, Rachel Marley.
Oh, yeah.
With partners. Yeah, all of them are great over there. And I'm about to take some of my tracks over there to Brett, because Brett never heard any of my music. So
really?
He's going to get the same treatment Sky did. I surprised Sky. So I'm going to continue surprising people. It's too much fun. Now, the Secretary of State, by the way, he's going to be speaking at the next Republican meeting.
Yeah.
And I got an invitation to it. And also I got a copy of the Republican platform. It is so beautifully worded. You would not believe how beautifully worded it is.
Shame they ain't going to follow it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it doesn't get down to any details of doing anything. But it is so lofty. It is wonderful. You can almost pray to the damn thing. It's so wonderful. And they want me to join that party so bad they don't know what to do. They got a long damn ways to go, folks.
Now, platforms are built to be ignored. Just go look at the Democratic Party's platform when FDR was elected. it was all about limited government and a balanced budget, and that's not
happened
what
to
he
that?
did.
Now, here's something Alabama needs to get off its butt and do. When we talk about agreements and all that, there's only 4 states in the United States who have done what Europe has done and passed laws against modeling of people from artificial intelligence, i.e., taking all your information or your actual words, spoken and visual, and using them with artificial intelligence. That is now against the law in Europe. And you have an option if you find out in Europe if that is on your computer or phone or anything, you can opt out, and they're not allowed to do it under penalty of law. There's only 4 states in the United States that have that now, and believe it or not, New York and California are 2 of them, which it seems to be ironic. But the state of Alabama needs to get off their butt, start getting into some of this cyber protection stuff with artificial intelligence. Our state government is quiet as a mouse. We know nothing about what they do, about what they think. They make no statement aside from people like Wes Allen. They're the quietest bunch I've ever seen, Joey. Am I mistaken, or is that just me, or is this the quiet bunch? None of them come on the air to talk about any policies or anything.
Well, I didn't do that, Red Top, but no, I mean, I see the reports, but honestly, often, it's quiet. We're not in a session. There are a few things came out today from Will Ainsworth's office about workforce development, trying to get back the trades actually in school.
That'd be great. That would be great.
But yeah, we're not in the middle of a session, and we still got several months ahead, so thus it being quiet. But here, let's hit this top of the hour break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. House Republicans hearing today from 9 lawmakers vying to be the next Speaker of the House. A candidate forum will proceed a day of voting tomorrow. Israeli warplanes have struck targets across Gaza. The strikes overnight and into Monday came after another small aid shipment was allowed into the Hamas-ruled territory. Israel is widely expected to launch a ground offensive in Gaza very soon. The United Auto Workers Union has once again escalated its strikes against Detroit 3 automakers, this time adding a factory that makes Ram pickup trucks for Stellantis. 6,800 members have walked out at the Sterling Heights, Michigan assembly plant. On Wall Street, the Dow had 6 points and the NASDAQ is up 100 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got a very warm forecast on this last week of October, and our extended dry period continues. Today, a good bit of sunshine with a high temperature in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll be near 80 Tuesday and Wednesday with more sun. And it looks like low to mid 80s for Thursday and Friday, still storm free. Our rain prospects are not good. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. An off-duty officer with the Montgomery Police Department has been relieved of duty and jailed on charges of first-degree sexual abuse. 27-year-old Markel Cox has been placed on administrative leave as of October 21st. He is currently being held in the Montgomery County Jail on $15,000 bond. A deadly two-vehicle crash temporarily shut down Highway 231 Saturday. The driver of a southbound automobile was killed when their vehicle crossed the median and collided head-on with an 18-wheeler headed north. The wreck temporarily shut down 231 near Brundage in both directions. Alabama returned to the top 10 in the latest college football poll after a decisive victory over Tennessee. The Crimson Tide moved up to number 9 following their 6th straight win. Meanwhile, the honeymoon is definitely over for Hugh Freeze as Auburn lost their 4th straight game. The Tigers fell at home to number 13 Ole Miss. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house with me.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
No, I'm all right.
Just okay?
Yeah, got stuff to do. I thought it was this week you were going to be off, so I had scheduled a lot of my stuff for this week. Only to find out it's next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm doing a little juggling.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah, I told you the first, second, third.
Yeah, who listens to you? I don't listen to that.
You should pay attention to the details.
Yeah, well, I'm too busy doing other stuff.
Anyway, you ready for World War III?
I did check my ammo this weekend, believe it or not. Yeah, I checked my ammo, make sure my boxes are still there, nothing's corroded over.
Probably wise on your part. Wait, you're worried it's going to break out here? It's going to spread to here?
What I worry about is a disruption in the grocery services, and being that I've got some ammo and live on the water, I feel like we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you like venison, do you, Joey?
Venison?
Yeah. Do you like a good road possum stew?
I don't. Venison's great, but
a
road possum?
stew?
I don't think I've ever had any road
Let's
possum.
just hope it don't go there.
Now, we had a bipartisan group of senators travel to Israel.
I saw over the weekend?
Yeah, and one of the guys who was leading that was Lindsey
Graham.
So, and also Alabama's own, I believe, Katie Britt was there. The
Yeah, I
junior
saw she
senator
was
from
over there.
Alabama. But I kind of want to go just to give you a sense of what the senators, all of them, have been saying to this big old press conference they had after arriving in country.
All right.
So let's set this up with Lindsey Graham. He's going to start off the presser, and we're going to scrub ahead after Lindsey to actually check in on Alabama's own Senator Britt. But first, I think since Lindsey's the leader of this party here, let's at least the War Hawks. Let's listen in.
I do not hate Palestinians. I hate Hamas. I know the difference. The goal going forward is to take from this horror and try to make this a better world. I saw things today that I didn't think were possible in 2023. I've seen grown men who've been fighting wars all of their lives be stunned by what they saw. The level of barbaric behavior here is beyond my ability to explain it. What does Hamas mean in English? ISIS. I've seen a lot traveling the world with my friends and my late friend John McCain. I have never seen anything like this in my lifetime. How does this end? Israel thrives, they survive, Hamas is destroyed, and the Palestinian people have a better life. That's how this has to end. So we're here today to give Israel what they need to do the job of destroying the modern day version of Nazis, Hamas. We're here today to tell Iran we're watching you. If this war grows, it's coming to your backyard. There won't be two fronts, there'll be three. If there's an effort to unleash Hezbollah on the Jewish state to destroy it, my attention will be to Tehran. If these innocent hostages get slaughtered, I hold you, Iran, accountable because you could stop it if you chose to. The idea that this happened without Iranian involvement is laughable. 93% of the budget over decades, the training, the equipment, all coming from the Ayatollah. I come here to let Israel know that America will be with you. I come here to let the Arab world know, let's make peace if we can. Destroying Hamas is non-negotiable. How we do it, let's talk. What is winning? For the terrorist organization to be destroyed, for the people of Israel to have a sense of peace they've lost, for the Palestinian people to have hope they don't have, and for the Arabs and the Israelis to end a conflict that would make the world better. Why now? You'll never convince me that this is not about reconciliation between Saudi Arabia and Israel. The Iranians, through their proxy Hamas, unleashed holy hell on Israel to stop the march toward a better Mideast and a better world. My goal is for them to fail. For Iran to fail, Israel must destroy Hamas. For Iran to fail, the Palestinians must have a better life. For Iran to fail, the Mideast needs to come together, marching toward the light, away from the darkness. Senator Cardin.
Well, pretty serious tone there.
Sure.
Well, and you gotta, I think, either there or I think it's later, he says, we'll strike Iran if Iran gets into this too. I think he doesn't mean Israel there. I think he means the United States will strike Tehran.
Yeah.
Capital
I believe
there.
that's what he meant, Joe.
Yeah, wider war in my mind is not exactly the right approach.
Well, the Warhawks will come out, buddy.
But we're going to see plenty of that. Now, there are a bunch of senators there, bipartisan. Cardin was the next one to speak. Yeah, he kind of, I'll pull this up for folks to see it. Cardin kind of looks like a thumb. Would you say he kind of looks like a thumb?
That's putting it nicely.
Then it goes to John Thune. Yeah, look at that tall drink of water. I got a feeling that's going to be that guy that replaces Mitch McConnell.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Him or John Cornyn. One of those two. Or maybe Katie will just bypass them all.
There you go.
And then I'm not even sure who this guy is. Susan Collins of Maine. Is that, that's Coons? I'm not even sure. I think that's the guy from Alaska. Blumenthal. Denang Dick.
Yeah.
Richard Blumenthal. You got to love this. Okay, now, after Richard, talk about a great lead-in.
Via Israel and other of this region. Thank you again to Senator Grant for bringing us today. Thank you.
Katie,
I want to start by thanking Senator Graham. Thank you for getting this group together. You and Senator Cardin put together a group of bipartisan senators. Each of us set foot in this country, not as a Democrat or a Republican. We set foot here, united as Americans, standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel. When we walked in the room today and talked to the families of these hostages, I listened as a mom. I listened as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, thinking what these families are going through, thinking what each individual hostage is going through is absolutely unbearable. When we watched the videos and heard the stories today, the things that happened were unthinkable. The loss of life, kids having to watch their parents be murdered, parents having to watch their children be burned to death, women having to be raped, kids decapitated. It's disgusting, it's despicable, and it is pure evil. Make no mistake, I believe that people of all faiths can exist in peace and prosperity. But I do not believe that good can exist with evil. And when evil rears its head, we must look it in the eyes and we must take it down. And Hamas is pure evil. Israel has every right to defend herself. And not only the right, they have the obligation to their children and their children's children. They have an obligation to the innocent. They have an obligation to the peace-loving people of this world. And that is ultimately what we want. We want Hamas to be destroyed, and we want peace to be restored. President Reagan said that evil cannot exist if the good are unafraid. Iran, Hamas, we stand here today to tell you that we are unafraid. We stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel. We will take you down. Thank you.
All right, then. Okay. Pretty intense. You know, when I look at the nuts and bolts of what's going to happen there with that ground invasion, potentially, people saying this is going to be a lot more difficult than what we did with ISIS. Like, I think Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin was on the Sunday show saying that took us 9 months. I don't know. I just have a very bad feeling. I'm sure you saw the headlines, Eddie, that Israel claims they found on the body of one of the invaders plans for chemical weapons.
Yep. Plan to gas them. Yep. I don't think if we will get out of their way and let Israel fight without their hands tied behind their back, this will go pretty quick.
Well, we shall see.
Well, we got to get out of the way. That's why we keep sending.
Apparently, the reason they've held back is the U.S.
won't get out of the way.
And as much as you'd like to think Israel is a sovereign nation of all nations, no, they still have to kind of go by the permission of the U.S. State Department, unfortunately.
You got to do what your friends want you to do, especially when they're paying your way.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke.
I tell you, boy, I think Katie missed her calling. You know, one of those tents when vandalists Billy Graham or somebody. Don't you sound like one of those cats? Well, how she be talking though? Oh, everything's so bad. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
She's emotional. She brings out. She gets her emotions in
Why
there.
we didn't hear of this when these kids getting mowed down in these schools in this country? Why we don't hear these politicians come out and do something talking about that?
They usually do, but all they say is we need more gun reform. That's all we ever hear. We need
What
to
about
take
these-
y'all's guns away.
I thought they were all the ones that took this trip over there. How many of those you saw on TV talked about these kids being mowed down?
Well, what does that have to do with this?
Well, not in this particular
I'm
case.
just
They're
saying,
over in Israel.
She over there crying about babies and the kids and how bad things. Those people don't give a damn about what she feels about over there. That's what they do over there. They kill babies and all. And she know that. That's why they went over there. That's what they do. Okay? So, only reason we involved about all the money, that's the only reason we associate with the people, period, from the get-go. But,
That's why people associate with people in general. They usually want something in return.
there you go. But this country, though, these people that, yeah, this make me sick. All this, I call half of it phoniness and hypocrisy. That's what I want to call it. Because you claim you care about babies and kids and education in the state of Alabama, all that stuff. I mean, these politicians just big old front.
They care about everything.
Oh, yeah, they care. Go to Washington to get rich. That's not what they care about. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave politics alone for a minute. Football. Auburn. Can we talk about that for a second? Or y'all want to respond to what I just said?
No, I'd rather talk about
rather talk about-
politics. I'd rather talk about politics. That's more wholesome than Auburn right now.
Also, Auburn was painful.
I know. I just
Like,
want
why do you
question
bring this
about
up?
Auburn.
Like you're
It's just one question about Auburn. I watched out.
you're first. No, wait, Duke. This is how this call is gone. You call up and you question the sincerity of our brand new senator, won by 60-something%, and then you bring up Auburn.
I'm on a roll then. I'm on a roll.
You got anything else today that you got another needle to stick into my temple here?
No, I want to comment about Auburn right quick. How is it that when all the money that's available for people to go out there, the NIL and all this, and go get what you want nowadays, you can buy the best or whatever on the field. Why can't we buy a good quarterback up there, Auburn?
Been wondering that for years.
We had one in Bo Nix, but Malzahn screwed that up.
Well, right now he's too busy in Oregon. Isn't he like 40? By the way,
no, I'm actually going to be 40 in December.
Is that right? Are you still eligible? You still got some eligibility?
I might. I didn't play any.
Hey, we still got some
I
eligibility.
could go get
going
my
on.
master's or a PhD or something at Auburn.
Yeah.
And how many other schools was fighting over Hugh Freeze?
Fighting over what?
Hugh Freeze besides Auburn.
Oh.
How many other schools?
I don't know, but I know this has got to be the worst team that Hugh Freeze ever came to in his life.
Oh, no,
I'm literally
Malzahn,
waiting for him to quit.
Like Harsin left a mess. Man.
Right.
Like he don't have no excuse. He could have loaded up like Dion there, loaded up some players, loaded up 2 or 3 quarterbacks. That
Well,
can
no,
throw the damn ball
and
50
Auburn's
yards.
got some talent through the transfer portal. But, I mean, it was already kind of going downhill with Malzahn, and Harsin took a bad situation and made it worse. Really, really,
I know,
really
he
bad.
He could have bought at least one quarterback out of this, transfer portal. He could have bought one.
Yeah.
Huh? At least
Like I
one.
said, I don't want to talk about it, and you got me talking about it. So,
But I'm just,
good afternoon to you. Happy Monday to you, too.
I like Kate and all that, but I used to get tired of these people coming on here crying and going on when we got all these situations in this country. Hey, I ain't heard about a cry about that. Kids get mowed down in the schools. I'm gonna leave that alone now. How about it?
Bye.
Later, Duke.
See you, bud.
272-9228. Now, folks are asking, where was this emotion on the border? I believe we played a clip with that same emotion about the border.
You can
In
almost
fact,
pick any clip.
a lot of common themes, actually, sadly. 272-9228. Let's go to Becky Garrettson. Hey, Becky, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, I'm good. Happy Monday to you. And
Happy Monday.
Thank you for playing that clip from Katie. I saw a headline that, she was in Israel, but that was really powerful. And I cannot imagine as a parent watching your child be burned or raped or decapitated. I mean, this is worse than what's going on in our country. We got some horrible things going on here, but that was major. And I'm glad that she went, and I really appreciate what she had to say. And wow, we're living in some crazy times.
Yeah, my hope is this just stays contained and doesn't spread to a wider war, because I don't know how ready we are for that, as much as we like to think we are.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's not good. And then having China be involved is not helpful either.
Oh, those warships in the area now.
Yeah,
No mind.
crazy. Well, I'm so thankful for you allowing me to call in. We have a really neat event coming up tomorrow night and again on Wednesday morning that I just want to let your listeners know about, and it is called Understanding the Great Reset. And our friend Jay Justino, who lives in Prattville, is going to be walking us through the Great Reset from a biblical perspective and why it's so important that the church understand what is going on, all the way from Darwin up through Klaus Schwab and what is happening with our money system and the food shortages and all of this. So it's going to be tomorrow night from 6 to 8 at Eastwood Presbyterian Church in Montgomery. But the same program, for those who don't like to get out at night, will be from 10 to 12 on Wednesday morning at Bethel Worship Center in Wetumpka. So people can go to Facebook and see the flyers at Eagle Forum of Alabama page, or our website, which is alabamaeagle.org. On the top menu bar, we have upcoming events, and you'll see we have lots of great events coming up, but you'll see those two with the address and the times again.
And alabamaeagle.org, folks, or Eagle Forum of Alabama on the Book of Faces, as I like to say it. I'm looking at it right now, the upcoming events. And this is a great topic to be informed on, folks, because understanding the Great Reset is key. And imagine it's going to be the broad brushes, but also what a few things people can do here locally, right?
Yes, and even supporting certain legislation that we will be promoting next year, and one of them is having gold and silver as legal tender. One way to protect ourselves from, the coming financial crisis, and we have several different pieces of legislation that do touch on things that the Great Reset is having an impact on. So it's going to be a great time. I'd love to meet people. So if you're in the listening audience and you come, please, come up and introduce yourself. Joey, so often at these events that we have in Montgomery and Wetumpka, they know about them from your radio show. And so it's just always great to get to meet people in person when they come.
And again, folks, that's tomorrow night, 6 to 8 tomorrow night, Eastwood Presbyterian Church here in Montgomery. Or you could go, 2 days from now on Wednesday the 25th, 10 in the morning till noon. They're at Bethel Worship Center in Wetumpka. And great to have Jay Justino there at 2 different times, giving great detail on this big topic. Well, I appreciate it, Becky. I really do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joey. You guys have a great day.
You too. Man, we're getting all sorts of calls rolling in here. We set off a nerve with folks or something?
Kind of.
Well, how about this? Quick break.
There
Hold
you
your
go.
positions.
There you go. Got some momentum.
I've gotta
Let's
pay
just
for the...
shut her down. Shut her down. Yeah, that's it.
You know how much of a man voice I have compared to you? Oh, wait, the mics are still on. Hold on.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back,
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes, I was the first person to put together a show show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
I'm Cam Marston. My radio show and podcast called What's Working with Cam Marston focuses on the workplace, workforce, and marketplace trends shaping Alabama business. My guests tell their stories and discuss their business expertise in such a way that you and I can learn from them and apply it to our own world. Listen to What's Working with Cam Marston each Saturday at noon right here on News Talk 93.1.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, Joe?
Good. And let's go.
Got some phone calls, Joey.
Right to the phones. Who's up first here? Who's been the most patient? It looks like it was Papa B.
Papa B.
First. Hey, Papa B, how you doing?
All right, Papa B.
Papa B.
Woohoo! Well, headed to the beach, baby.
Oh, nice. Beautiful weather for the beach.
Checking out. I've had enough. I can't take it anymore.
Been there.
But just in case somebody might get curious, I've got a house sitter that knows how to use a gun, so don't even think about it.
Good thinking.
Don't even think about it. Anyway, so, you know, our legislators like Katie and others, they're able to see things that they just won't put on the news because it's so awful.
Right.
And I'm sure it's heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for anybody to look at. So definitely I can sense the emotion in Katie's voice and, you know, Lindsay and Graham. I would say, though, that Katie does sound a little bit like you know, one of those commercials for the pets, you know, like the adopt a pet kind of thing, you know.
With like Sarah McLachlan music going and all that?
Well, you know, put a little bit of there. She's got that tenor in her voice, you know. Would you please help these poor pets, these poor dogs and cats? I mean, you know, I can't help it. I think about that when she's talking. It's not anything she's saying, though, because what she's saying is exactly right. We've got to do something. And, you know, truly, you know, evil does prevail when good men and good women do nothing. So we can't just sit by and let this happen. What is your prediction, though? I mean, are we actually going to get involved, or are we going to turn the reins loose on IDF, or what?
Yeah, I think that's where it's going, though. You got to, and I know they're smart enough to think it through. The reason people engage in acts of terror, especially ones this horrifying, is to get a reaction like this. And they want a reaction like this because, Hamas could give a damn about the civilians they're supposedly overseeing. So they want this reaction from Israel so you get a larger war with the entire Arab world jumping in.
So it's a motivation for more.
And so maybe there is a creative way to go about decapitating Hamas, because also, I'll play in a second, Secretary Austin, the defense secretary over the weekend, was saying this is probably going to take longer than our attempts to take out ISIS, which took about 9 months. You're also seeing like all this, this literature lately. It came out of essentially chemical weapons ready to be used. Like, I don't know of all of Israel or United States capabilities, obviously, and somebody like me shouldn't know all of them. But the idea of just sending all the tanks in there for all sorts of reasons doesn't sound like the greatest idea. Hope they have something creative.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I tell you what gets me sometimes are these folks, oh, yeah, let's just go and wipe them out. Hurry up. What are you waiting on? It's just not as easy as that. Kind of reminds me, like in Braveheart, the king's son. Well, just have the local magistrate arrest him.
Right.
He says he killed the local.
Right.
He
Right.
Dog what? Yeah, okay, yeah, rah, woohoo, rah, let's get it going.
Well, and folks don't need to underestimate if Israel is being attacked from all sides. I mean, from the West Bank, from the north, from the south. They've got more incoming, especially more ordnance coming from Iran or Iraq or these sorts of things. They have tactical nuclear weapons. They got a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's just all pray that we can find that there can be a resolution to this before it turns into something broader.
Yeah.
Because it looks to me like, powder kegs are lined up worldwide, really.
Yep.
To me.
It really is.
I can see, Donald Trump says he can see World War III coming, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Now I think pretty much everybody can see it. It just doesn't take that much to look and say, hey, oh, no, we got a problem here. Houston, what kind of problem? All right, guys, well, listen, thanks. I enjoyed the show.
Thank you, Bobby B.
Thank you, Bobby B.
Have a good time at the beach, brother.
272-9228. I am looking forward to taking a few days off.
Yeah?
The beach sounds pretty awesome.
It does,
But
doesn't it?
Greenville, South Carolina, to go see a brand new Nieces and have
That's pretty
Patty.
good, too. That's pretty good, Joey.
Let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm doing fine. I think it's just kind of listening to Katie Britt, and I know her emotion and probably things she did see is awful. But this barbarism has been going on for 2,000 years. And why do we think we're going to all of a sudden stop this now? More money being poured into the area. Now you got warships coming into the Mediterranean, not only Chinese, but Russian. Is our eye being taken off the ball now? Taiwan is going to get moved in on by China. The repercussions here are so great. And the bottom line is, America's a paper tiger. At this point, we don't have the money. We don't have the resources. We can't even take care of our own borders. And I understand she's crying. I cry for this country every night. I'm watching what's going on. I'm looking at the fentanyl deaths in the streets and people not able to afford food and things like that. I want that emotion here for our people too, and that's just kind of my thing. When I hear this, here goes more billions of dollars over to the Middle East. We spent $7-8 trillion all over there already, and and here our people are suffering in our own country, and I just don't understand how we get emotionally involved in something that's not even ours.
Yeah, no, and actually, to Senator Britt's credit, we're honestly not that impressed that easily here. We play because she's the senator and it's on an international stage, so I'm going to play it. But Eddie and I were genuinely impressed that one day where she spoke about what's happening on the border.
Got me there.
And
Right.
I think there is an understanding, at least from our two senators and from a lot of our delegation, about how much Alabama cares about the border and these issues related to the lack of border security. Will they get anything done? I don't know. Real quick, Chris, do you think Gary Palmer will end up Speaker of the House?
Who knows at this point?
He might pull a Polk. And what I mean by that is, like, he has not filed yet. Both him and Barry Moore have not filed to run for re-election.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I know Gary Palmer, I don't know him, but I know Gary Palmer had once said, I'm going to term limit myself.
Right.
He's somewhat kind of gone back on that. He's got his reasons or explanations. He could say, you know what, I'm not running again, and that makes me a perfect candidate to be Speaker of this next year.
It does. I can burn bridges.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting move. It really would.
That would be.
That'd be, yeah.
Well, I just wonder about all the stuff going on. I mean, you have Lindsey Graham as the shepherd bringing you into the Middle East to let these fact-finding mission and leading it. He gets really angry at Newsmax, kicks them out.
I saw that.
Oh, boy.
And to me, let's just be honest. Lindsey Graham has no skin in this game. You know why?
Right.
Because he has no kids.
No kids.
Not
No
married.
future.
He has no children.
Right.
Always been a war hawk. He's cost this country trillions of dollars. So anything that comes out of his mouth, I would be very reluctant to listen to him.
You bet.
And I would hope Katie Britt would be the same way. But the problem is we got a big, and here I'm about to go into my rant here, but we have big military industrial complex in the state of Alabama and in South Carolina who produces a lot of these weapons and things like that. Of course they want war.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say that, but that's big business. I mean, look at their stock prices. And we got a guy, Defense Secretary Raytheon from Auburn University over there. I mean, of course he wants war. I mean, it's good to the bottom line. You just don't know what to believe anymore. That's the scariest part about it. Yeah. And we're not talking about building a road or repaving a road, and there's arguments over who's going to pay for it or how much it's going to be. This is generational.
Right.
This could be World War III. I just feel like we're like slow walking right into this abyss that we're never going to be able to get out of.
Yeah, you're not alone in your apprehension. I certainly share the feeling. I got to run, Chris. Appreciate it, man.
All right, y'all have a great day.
You too, Chris. See you, bro.
Let's go to Eric the dog. Hello.
What up, dog?
Hola.
How you been?
I've been pretty good. Staying busy. Katie Britt, my feelings about how she talks are well known. Until she does something on the border, I don't really care what she does in Israel. She's going over there basically to try to guilt us into how she's a mom, and watching kids die is just abhorrent. Like, men don't feel that way and dads don't. What I'm sick of is seeing our blood and treasure be spent in places where we have no game plan to win. We're going over there to throw money in a hole. It's like we got a big boat over there, and we're just going to throw money in a hole for no reason. We're not going to get anything. We're losing money. Eventually, I believe they're going to try to make us lose some blood over there, and I'm not with it. We just spent 20 years in a war with no actual game plan to win, and I'm sick of us losing.
Yeah.
Sick of us losing. If we're going to play the game, fine. Let's play to win. Unhandcuff our guys and let them go. Let them go do what they do. They're good at it. They're best in the world. Stop playing with us, man, and stop setting us up for failure. I'm sick of them, man. If I'm going to play a game, I don't go into a game thinking how I'm going to lose and how it's going to be okay unless I'm on the take.
Right.
No.
Well,
I'm sick of this. You're going to send, and you're going to go over here. You're going to sign up to send my kids over here to go, and y'all are gonna what? And this guy's talking about opening a third front. Has he lost his ever-loving mind?
No, I think it's the same old mind he's had for a while.
Well, I better not say that. But that dude, man, he needs to sit down and shut up somewhere. Get out of here. We need some new perspective on how to do this. How about we take care of us first? Wouldn't it be much better to go to Israel with a plan on the border when we've secured our own border?
Yeah.
We're going to go over here and show them how to do something we can't do at the house? Man, get out of my face with that. I'm sick of y'all.
Well,
I'd really love to tell a politician that to their face. And I don't want no doublespeak. I just want them to sit there and take it like they make us do. Jackasses. But y'all have a nice wet day.
Yeah, you too, Eric.
Joey, you look like a blackjack dealer today. I'm with it.
I'm not wearing a vest today.
If you walked up to the blackjack table and you see this man behind it, do you keep walking? Or do you lay down some bets?
I'm intrigued.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
I want to see if I can get 21 against Tasty Cakes over there. All right, y'all.
See you, dog.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Careful what you wish for, sir. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team can help you with buying a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, or maybe you're a veteran who has yet to take advantage of the VA home loan programs they have there. The best game in town. It really is. If you're a veteran, you haven't taken advantage of these benefits you earn through your service, you're leaving money on the table.
Definitely.
That applies to buying a home, so that could be from pre-approval all the way to closing day. They can walk you through that home buying process there at Alabama Home Mortgage. But those VA benefits also apply to refinancing. And even if you're not a veteran, you still probably need to look into refinancing if you're stuck under a mountain of credit card debt. The average credit card APR is something like 28%.
29%, Joey. Whew. 30 cents on the dollar.
That's the average, not the top end of the range.
No, not top end at all. That's just average.
And the average amount of debt here in Alabama is like over $7,000.
It's 7, but I think it's higher than that. That was several months ago, and things hadn't gotten better.
Right.
So I know more and more people that I know are leaning on their credit card. So
if you want to get that debt off your back, especially if you have value built up in your home, Alabama Home Mortgage can help you do that. So sit down with Kim and Madeline today. You can always call them at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. More news and views after this.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship.
You just pulled out of thin air or something you've been working on?
We're working on.
Oh, good.
Let's go to Mr. Pink.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Pink.
Hey,
how you
Mr.
doing?
Pink, how you doing, bud?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Now, I just got an observation. Have you noticed in the past 2 weeks, nobody's been talking about good old-fashioned American black and white racism?
Ah.
No?
Yeah, no, you're right. I hadn't seen it quite as much in the headlines that I had, like you said, a couple weeks ago.
I mean, either side.
Yeah,
Either side
you're right.
You haven't heard. Yeah, and it's happened every time. It had me thinking that is racism in America just like fake rage? Like it's not real? It's just like, just something you like to, I don't know, get mad about or something? Like think about that old girlfriend that cheated on you or something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was just putting that out there so maybe we can build on this because I kind of started to get a little jealous, man. I was like, man, talk later, not you guys. You guys about getting your own house in order, helping yourself before you can help somebody else.
Well, there was. I'm thinking of. There was that little thing where BLM Chicago put out that graphic of the paratrooper guy from Hamas, and like saying we're in solidarity. There have been some weird divides, but it's mostly been within the House of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
it's been fascinating to watch the divisions between those who are very gung ho in supporting Israel and others that are seemingly more partial to the Palestinian.
Now that division's been interesting because a lot of people that I see coming out in heavy support of the Palestinians. If the Palestinians had a chance, they'd kill you in a minute. Like it was this big, huge lesbian group in in Chicago. They were part of that parade, and more power to them. But I'm thinking, do you really know what you're talking about here? These people given an opportunity, they would kill you.
Well, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, So it is what it is, and it's a teachable moment, but. When I was younger, I thought I knew everything, and then when I found that I didn't, I started to listen before I talked.
There you go.
You just got to go through it. One quick thing. I've asked this question over 10 years. Sins of our fathers. Like, when does that stop?
Amen.
And you can. That's very broad. You can all the way. I mean, I used to talk about Hatfield and McCoy, about what's going on right now in Palestine and Israel for 1,000 years plus. Like, when does that stop? Like, Joey, your dad slapped my dad. Like,
right?
Do I have to get my lick back?
Right.
One, if you go back to the very beginning of the Bible, folks, when Cain kills Abel, is there vengeance against Cain? No, they said don't touch him, because then it'll be revisited sevenfold. Right. And the whole point was that when somebody does that, you must cast them out, like you exile them. Essentially, don't mess with them. Maybe you put them somewhere where they can't hurt another person, but. Vengeance tends to breed vengeance. Hate and violence tend to breed more of it.
Yeah, it is. You guys learn to forgive, learn to apologize, man. You guys got it, man. I'm just listening.
And my philosophy had been yours to sit and listen. Then I got this gig, and now I'm having to stick my foot in my mouth every day. I appreciate it, man.
No, Joey. Check this out. Do you remember Gladiator? In the beginning of the movie, the king was like, Maximo. That's why it must be you, That's why it must be you.
I wish Marcus Aurelius had been smarter than the actual history, because he gave it to Commodus, and my goodness, that guy screwed it up.
Exactly. That's why it must be you.
Appreciate
Have
it, man.
a good one.
272-9228. Let's go to Doug from Titus real quick here. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Hey, Doug, what's up, buddy?
Hey, gentlemen, I'm doing great. Joey, I want to commend you on your selection of those two audio clips. I couldn't see it. Most of us can't because we don't work out of a cubicle. But anyway, Lindsey Graham and Katie Britt could not have been a better choice. Now, listen, I'm not a Lindsey fan because he's a warmonger, a war whore. But he was his emotions were in total check. I could feel the sincerity and intensity of his words. And to be honest with you, I don't even think that he would vote boots on the ground. But the problem I've got with Katie is, and I know that I'm going to get labeled as a sexist and being very misogynist, whatever, I can't pronounce it. But she can't keep her emotions in check. If she's got the opportunity to get behind a podium and a microphone on a national stage, I don't know, Joey. I don't trust her as one of our leaders. She should be.
Well, I played it because she is our senator. It is an international stage, and I think she's got a long career ahead of her. But, yeah, it's interesting to watch these early days. We're watching.
Yes, she's got a long career ahead of herself. Look at her. I guess my dad would say pedigree. I read an article that, I don't know if you've ever mentioned it or not. The source of it is failing me right now. But before she left the University of Alabama, she knew exactly where she wanted to be, and that's where she is right now. And I applaud her for that.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really do. But as a former military member, the United States Department of Defense has got the best when it comes to weaponry. And we call it, us low-level leaders, we call that a huge force multiplier. So there's not really any need sometimes to have even one pair of boots on the ground, maybe minimal. And the last thing I'll say is, and I've been wanting to call in and say this, Joe Biden, you are a selfish SOB for doing that photo op with the Special Operations Forces. Their faces are plastered on the internet now, Uncle Joe. They're trying to get our hostages back home. Shame on you, Joe. I didn't even know they were over there. But thanks to you, the world knows who they are, face by face by face.
Yep.
Joey, longest time I've had to hang on, but I don't give a darn. I just enjoy talking to y'all. Y'all have a great afternoon. Thank you for taking my call, Joey.
Thank you, Doug.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. Hopefully when we come back here, quick break, we'll have Michael Cohen, Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, right after this.
If you get a cough, please leave the room.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey folks, this is Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed asking you to join in with Jones Drugs on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the National Drug Take Back event. Come by the parking lot of Montgomery, Prattville, or Millbrook locations and bring your unwanted or unneeded or expired prescriptions. That's Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen, Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, Joey. I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing well.
I'm doing well, all things considered. And let's remind folks, y'all are coming up on, 65 years?
65.
Wow. So this goes all the way back, for those who don't remember, it was called the Record Shop?
It was, the Record Shop. My dad started back in 57, I think, on Dexter Avenue, somewhere near where the power company is today. I think he had a 10 by 10 location.
Oh, wow.
And then he moved to Normandale. and he was on one of the little side parts. Increased that once or twice, and then he moved to his last location, which was between Dexter Interiors and McClendon Athletic Center. So, and then we moved out to the bypass in 77.
And when y'all say you deliver confidence there at Cohen's, like, it's not just generations within the family running Cohen's, you've had customers that go back generations, right?
That's right. I mean, you know, we've got grandparents bringing in grandkids. Every now and then we have grandkids bringing in grandparents, you know, for their first time purchase, you know, depending on who's lived here the longest. And it is neat. It is like a family. I had a customer in today that was talking about, he said, you know, your dad calls me every time I fill out one of those survey cards. And this man lives in Ada, but we did some service on one of his appliances. He fills out the survey card, and my dad will give him a call and ask him how everything went, and make sure everything's still the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, there you go, folks. And you see a theme here, that it's through the generations, great service, incredible products. I encourage everybody to go to thinkcohens.com, check out especially their appliances. They can help you with a washer-dryer unit or anything you can imagine with your kitchen. As we talked about last week, those kick-butt grill options, and not to mention all the big TVs and audio solutions you have there. Y'all really got it going on. So the number also, folks, is 277-8890, and you're still there on the Eastern Boulevard?
We're still here. We're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. Come on in and see us, and let us help you make the right choice.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, Michael. Talk again soon.
Y'all take care.
And that's Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Be sure to tell him you heard about him here on News and Views in the afternoon with Joey and Eddie. You heard Michael on the radio. We have Lee Marshall with Kids to Love after the break. A pretty remarkable thing they're doing. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey scheduled to return to a federal court in Manhattan today to answer to a conspiracy charge. Menendez expected to enter a not guilty plea. Washington has advised Israel to delay a possible ground invasion to allow more time to try and secure the release of captives that are held by Hamas. There are reportedly more than 200 hostages that are being held. Hurricane Tammy unleashing heavy rains in the Northeast Caribbean as it spins over open waters after making landfall in Barbuda. Tammy expected to strengthen slightly in the upcoming days and then weaken. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Otis is in the Pacific and on a path toward Mexico's southern coast. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 33 points, but the Nasdaq up 14. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We've got a very warm forecast on this last week of October, and our extended dry period continues Today, a good bit of sunshine with a high temperature in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll be near 80 Tuesday and Wednesday with more sun. And it looks like low to mid-80s for Thursday and Friday, still storm-free. Our rain prospects are not good. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. The weather's always changing. Hot as blazes 1 minute, raining cats and dogs the next. What doesn't change is the dependability of Kubota's L-Series compact tractors to handle it all. Kubota and Capital Tractor in Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
Alabama's Commerce Secretary Greg Canfield will leave his position at the end of 2023 after serving for 12 years. Governor Ivey revealed the decision by Canfield over the weekend and also announced that Canfield is being replaced by Ellen McNair. McNair has been serving as the Chief Economic Development Officer for the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce and will be the first woman to serve in this state position. McNair says she has great respect for Canfield and what his team within the Commerce Department has accomplished, and McNair and Canfield will work together in the last 2 months of 2023 to make for a smooth transition. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Arrests were made in Tuscaloosa days after a missing man's body was found in a wooded area. 64-year-old Betty Williamson and 45-year-old Ricky Duncan are facing abuse of a corpse charges. Braxton Connell was last seen October 3rd in the town of Coling. The cause of death for Braxton will be determined by an autopsy. Investigators believe that the use of illegal drugs was a factor in his death. Wrongful death lawsuits have been filed against 2 former members of the men's basketball team for the University of Alabama. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of the estate of Jamia Harris, who was shot and killed in January of this year. Brandon Miller and Darius Miles are named in the lawsuits. Miles is also facing criminal charges related to the death of Harris, while Miller is not. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. Don't miss the annual Pumpkin Festival this weekend at Sweet Creek Farm Market. This year, it's bigger than ever. Bring your family for a day of fun for all ages. There will be an arts and crafts show with more than 50 vendors featuring Alabama-made products. The Pumpkin Festival at Sweet Creek Farm Market will have food trucks, bonfires, live music, and entertainment. The kids will love the petting zoo, face painting, pony rides, cakewalks, and inflatables. And don't forget about the pumpkins, and more pumpkins. Come join in on the family fun. Look up Sweet Creek Farm Market on Facebook for all the details. Come celebrate fall at the annual Pumpkin Festival this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. Sweet Creek Farm Market, 2 miles south of Taylor Road on Highway 231 South. See you at Sweet Creek Farm Market at the Pumpkin Festival.
Hey folks, Jeff here. Due to truckloads of specials, Georgia Floors Direct is now overstocked. Drastic, even deeper discounts on carpet, hardwood, LVP, and more. Home or business, don't wait. Come to Georgia Floors Direct today, Eastern Bypass across from Lowe's.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. You like this one? Yeah, I like this one too. I like it. That was a fun afternoon making this one. Welcome back to the program. Now, on the phone, we have Lee Marshall. She is the founder and CEO of Kids to Love, a nonprofit, I believe, based in Madison County, helping foster children. Lee, how are you this afternoon?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, and this is a nice change of pace from all the craziness going on in the wider world. Though there are some, I think, some legal fights you're having here in the state. But first, tell folks about Kids to Love, your organization.
Kids to Love, we're a nonprofit organization, and while our headquarters is in Madison, we actively serve children in foster care through multiple programs all across the state. We've been around for 19 years and have had a direct impact on the lives of more than 300 children living in the foster care system. We do this without any state or federal funding, and we run as an organization completely debt-free. We have programs that serve children in foster care to meet their immediate needs, like school supplies and Christmas gifts and college scholarships to break the cycle of poverty, all the way to being a licensed child placing agency to be able to recruit, train, and license foster families, private adoption throughout the state. And we also have a girls' home, a 10,000 square foot farm in North Alabama that serves girls in foster care all across the state, ages 7 to 19. So we love how we get to serve children in foster care in Alabama.
Now, how did this start? I think what I read was this started in your garage and all the way back in almost 20 years now.
Yeah, we'll turn 20 in January, and one of the very first outreach programs we ever did was backpacks for foster families, and my dad and I did that in my garage. But for me, it started even long before that. I was born into foster care. I was adopted by a family, so I totally understand the significance of being in foster care and getting out of the foster care system and being adopted and being adopted out of foster care. Also, I want to clarify, 300,000 children we've had a direct impact on in the past 19 years since we've been in service.
Wow. That's truly remarkable. And I'd imagine as you grow, you start to realize that, I don't know, anytime I've realized this in your sector or any other sector, you grow, certain problems pop up. Tell me, given what you can, given this is ongoing litigation, what's going on with you and Alabama's Department of Human Resources?
Well, we've considered DHR a partner for many, many years. But this past year has been a hard year for us. We, as an organization, work to do child welfare with excellence. Since we do not take state or federal funding, we're able to do that. The challenge then comes, because we don't take their funding, that when we serve in a way that does not violate policy, but does not meet where they prefer to us to serve, their preference, then things have gotten a little sideways in the past year. And we've tried our best to work this out. The last thing I wanted to do was file a lawsuit, but in June, they came and did a site visit. They found zero deficiencies across all of our foster homes, our child placing agency, our group home. It is a very intense audit that they do, and we had absolutely zero deficiencies, which is something our team works hard to achieve, but it's very hard to achieve in our state. When they could not find a reason through the audit to shut us down, they just froze referrals to our homes and froze our homes in the statewide fax system. So what that means is our great foster families that we have spent a year training and licensing and vetting, so we have the good ones, their rooms are sitting empty. There was a situation where we had several children placed in one of our foster homes in August, and we saw that after they had frozen our homes, that their next strategy step was just to empty our homes. And when that happened, we filed a restraining order asking the judge to intervene so they could not empty and traumatize our children again through unnecessary moves, so we could be able to continue to serve children. So we did file a lawsuit in August. We, last week, wrote a letter to Governor Ivey. We're asking Governor Ivey to open our homes. And Nathan Lindsay on the governor's staff told a high-ranking North Alabama official Friday that, quote, Lee's letter was laughable that I sent to the governor. And let me be clear, that letter outlined serious concerns of the quality that our children in foster care are facing. If you Google DHR, you will see the long list of federal and state lawsuits. It is not uncommon knowledge that the quality of treatment of our children is not where it needs to be. What we're asking is for the governor to intervene and open our homes so we can provide loving, stable homes and not beds in facilities to children in foster care in the state of Alabama, because they deserve at least that.
So it sounds like the government, at least leadership, is looking out for themselves in this. I think the latest story I saw, believe, on 1819news.com this morning is that the DHR Commissioner, Nancy Buckner, is trying to move this to the Montgomery County court system, not Madison.
Right. This was originally assigned to Judge Pate, a circuit judge in Madison. 2 times DHR has argued with the judge that she didn't have the authority to hear this case. One of those was appealed all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and that ruling came down late Wednesday. And the Alabama Supreme Court said that, in fact, Judge Pate did have the authority to hear this case. So that ruling came down on Wednesday, and then DHR again on Friday, again, is trying to say that this judge doesn't have the authority to hear this case. The sad thing in all of that are these continued legal antics are prolonging our children staying where they are and not allowing us to get a resolution. And you're right, the government is protecting itself. DHR is a bureaucracy designed to protect the bureaucracy. And I'm very disappointed that when I asked the governor to look into this, that the reaction is what we sent was laughable. That's criminal, to not take these allegations seriously and to continue to not hold these state officials, to hold them accountable when children's lives are at stake.
Yeah, and I was just thinking through all the mess too with the Department of Transportation and John Cooper and all that fight down in the southern part of the state. But that's over a lot of money and different contracts. But it's not the same thing. I think the level of importance of what you're talking about. It's a shame that it's at the end of the day these kids who are caught up in all this. I'd say nothing necessarily has been proved yet, but all this malfeasance or just dropping the ball here.
Absolutely. And, we've asked numerous times, what can we do to correct any wrongdoing? And DHR provided us a list, and if there was anything we felt like that was in a violation of policy, we corrected immediately. Everything else that's on that list is just a preference of how we serve. If we are not violating policy and we are not violating law, but we're just violating the commissioner's preference of how we serve, to me, that is unacceptable to keep these kids from having the resources that they deserve and the resources that we have readily available with loving foster homes.
Now, if folks are listening, and of course I would encourage folks to continue to follow this story. It seems like it's just beginning here. But if folks are listening and want to help out in some way, whether it's volunteering in some capacity or donating, how can they do so?
So there's a lot of ways that we're asking and we're calling on the community. The first thing is call your lawmaker and voice your concerns. Call the governor's office directly and be a voice for these children that don't have one right now. Our organization is Kids to Love. It's KIDSTOLOVE.org. On that website, you will find the letter that I sent to the governor. We also have a petition there that we're asking the community to sign and to reach out to the governor to be an advocate and a voice for these children. As I mentioned at the very top, we're a nonprofit and we operate without state or federal funding. So we do depend on our community to support us, although I can tell you to this point, all of our legal fees have not come from one donor dollar. And so I just encourage people to do their due diligence, but more than anything, use your voice for our kids in foster care that don't have one right now.
Well, Lee, I appreciate your time, and I would love to have you back if we have any more breakthroughs here in the case, and we'll certainly report on it either way. But again, folks, that's kidstolove.org. I've got it pulled up here on the live stream. If you want to see that, just kidstolove.org. I appreciate your time, Lee, and everything you're doing here.
Thank you so much. All right, appreciate it. Have a great afternoon.
You too. This is something, without going into details, near and dear to your heart, right? Yeah?
Not only that, the neighborhood I grew up in, we had a foster home. And a lot of my friends in that foster home.
Yeah, yeah. And would you hope things have improved since then? Yeah, because that was, what time period are we talking?
Probably early 80s, late 70s, so yeah. Which, I'll be honest, I mean, I'm glad they had a place to go. They certainly were better off there than where they were at. But mainly it was the mental attention that most of them needed. And at that time, it just wasn't there.
No, thank God we seem to be, despite, you hate to see this too, that it seems like this is a great organization. All of a sudden to me, it's still not exactly clear what's the problem.
Neither do I. But organizations like this, I'm thrilled to death they're out there because our government is not very good at providing that service, to say the least. So I'm glad places like this do step up, and churches as well.
272-9228. And give you the floor here, because I know you probably do have a message you'd want to say. If somebody's thinking about adopting a kid, what do you say to them?
Do it. Do it. Don't get me choked up. Do it. It's worth it on both levels. There's so many kids out there waiting for adoption. And not just young infants. I mean, there are teenagers out there waiting for adoption. They just feel like nobody loves them. So I would say do it. Get involved.
Well, how about this? Let's hit a break. But first, as part of the program. Well, here, it's brought to you by this part of the show, Pest Pro Service.
Well, I do like those folks now.
Yeah, Ashley.
They're good people over there.
Talk about building a family.
Yeah.
A work family. Now, they work.
Doubt.
But it has grown. That place has grown leaps and bounds in the past few years.
We had to get a bigger building, remember?
Yeah, because they're serving so many homes now. Now, it could be you have an emergency problem like termites at your property, or it could be, hey, I have no preventative measures for any termites. Have them come out. They've got the, the Termidor HP2 injection unit.
They have a very impressive unit, but they also have a very impressive plan to prevent termites.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely talk to them about that, because in Alabama, I don't care what everybody else has ever told you, it's not a matter of if you have termites. It's a matter of when. They live here amongst us. So a company like Pest Pro, they can put out those bait traps and monitor that for you, because you don't want to find out when you go to hang a picture on a wall and the picture just rips down to the floor because the termites have eaten through your drywall.
Right.
That's not how you want to find out you got termites.
No, that's not how you want to find out at all. And it could be termites. It could be like a huge wasp nest. It could be a big fire ant problem. Who knows? Like, if it's a really big deal, you'll notice and have Pest Pro come out and take care of it. But here's what I advise you. Make them your everyday pest control company.
Yes.
So they just got you covered. They'll get you on a quarterly schedule.
And it's really cool because there's an extra set of eyes on your house. You know, a lot of times, Joey, we just get in the habit of coming and going.
Right.
You know, we cut the grass, but we really don't pay attention. When you get a third person out there just to look at nothing but your property on the outside and inside for pests, well, they're going to see other problems too, and they'll report them to you. Let you know. It's an extra set of eyes.
There you go. So call up Pest Pro Services today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. You can also always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey y'all, it's fall at Mama's Produce, and we are your fall decor headquarters. We've got all sorts of beautiful pumpkins and unique gourds, corn stalks and hay bales, wheat straw, mums, and we're still selling vegetables. So check out our Facebook page. We're constantly updating it, and we still got all of our good jams and jellies and some really cool t-shirts that we got in. So check out our gift items as well. Come see us, 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville.
Everybody loves mamas.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years, and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right, and I'm just looking at other things we haven't gotten to today.
Quite a bit, isn't there?
Well, one I mentioned in passing is Gary Palmer threw his name in there.
Yeah.
Into the hat to be the next Speaker of the House. Apparently, Jim Jordan just wasn't palatable because he was too conservative or something.
I heard some of the records, their voting records, and
yeah.
I liked them myself.
Right. But Palmer actually has a fairly good record, and he cites inflation, immigration, crime as reason for seeking speakership. The American people are desperate for authentic leadership.
That just makes me worry right there.
So let's read the story here a little bit. Alabama's 6th District, U.S. Representative Gary Palmer, he's a Republican from Hoover, officially announced his candidacy for Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives on Sunday, citing inflation, immigration, crime, and a need for unity.
Uniparty.
That's not the Rick.
Oh,
that's not the Rick James song.
Uniparty, sure, rings very well.
Yeah, we could play Unity and see if they match up. But the 5-term representative faces 8 other Republicans who qualified to run for Speaker before the October 22nd deadline yesterday. All 9 will go before the House Republican Conference Monday at 6 p.m., so about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
You didn't get your application in, did you?
No, I don't think they would like me very much.
Yeah, but the people would. The people would love you, Joey.
No. I think the
For the
people
first
would
couple of weeks.
love me until they didn't.
Yeah, for
They're
the first
like,
couple of
hang
weeks.
him high.
For the first couple of weeks, you would be very popular.
You know, but you see, I remember I called you and told you, like, I didn't write about this.
Right.
But there's part of me at times, I go back and forth, folks. I'm like, yes, the politicians are miserable. Yes, they're corrupt. Yes, they talk in a mealy-mouthed way out of both sides of their mouth. But have you seen the people they serve? I think we underestimate how accurately, how precisely, in fact, the representatives actually reflect the folks that vote them in. I know that doesn't make me very popular because in democracy we're supposed to just constantly flatter one another.
Are you
the people are
truth
so
over there, Joey?
The people are so wise. I'm like, I don't know. I've met a lot of the people. I've seen me in the mirror. Number one, I've seen the boob, and he is me. Like, I don't know about this. Like that. Sometimes folks get a little too proud. Like, I'm a voter, so that makes me what?
Right. I got power, right?
Sure you do. But a majority of the votes in the conference is needed to pick a Republican nominee for Speaker. There is no rule requiring members of the conference to then vote for the nominee when the election goes to the full House. Interesting. So Gary Palmer throwing his name in there, but also here are the others. A guy named Representative Jack Bergman from Michigan. He's a retired Marine general.
Yeah, I
elected
saw
in
that.
2017.
Yeah, a little too establishment.
Byron Donalds. Now that would be my pick, Byron. Sorry, Gary, but I like Byron Donalds
You
a
see
lot.
his voting? I liked his. He's pretty good.
He lost in January running against Kevin McCarthy. Donalds is a diehard supporter of former President Trump.
Yep.
Endorsing Trump over Ron DeSantis.
Yep.
Donalds refers to himself as a Trump-supporting, liberty-loving, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment black man. I believe he was also a fairly bigwig in the banking industry,
I believe
right?
he was, yes.
Yeah, so when you listen to the guy, especially in those committee hearings, you're like, okay, this isn't just
That's what I
glitz
like.
and glam. This guy really's
He's
got something
right.
behind him.
He's been in there. He's not just talking out of his butt.
Representative Tom Emmer, who might be the front runner for more moderate establishment types, he's a majority whip right now. He's the third-ranking Republican.
Whippy good.
So if you're doing this just by rank, he would be the likely choice.
Well, we're not doing it by rank.
Representative Kevin Hern of Oklahoma. He is the chairman of the GOP study committee. Study committee. Talk about sexy. Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana. He's the vice chairman of the House GOP caucus. Actually, I like Mike Johnson's an impressive guy when you hear him talk.
Yeah.
Dan Moiser? He serves as the vice chairman of the House Republican Conference. Austin, but with an E, not an I. Austin.
That's Austin.
Austin.
That's Austin.
No, Steen would have two E's or another. It's Austin. Austin. Austin Scott. He's a Republican for Georgia. Not well known, but ran against Jordan for the caucus speaker nomination, losing 124 to 81.
Never heard of her.
He then supported Jordan on the House floor. And then Pete Sessions of Texas, former chair of the House Rules Committee and a new member of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee. So we'll see. A lot of names in the hat now, including Alabama's own Gary Palmer. And actually, I like this idea that Palmer might say, he might come and say, I'm not running for re-election. And it would be kind of a perfect fit to sort of settle. He can be the guy shepherds in some deals, essentially.
But I'd like to know what he's doing after Congress.
Oh.
I don't want to elect a professional middleman to start off his career.
Well, it might be he's seeing Jarek Wilkins. He's like, I just can't hang. Let's go to Gene. Hey, Gene.
Hey, Gene.
Hey. Hey, Uncle Joey.
How you doing?
Fine. How's that baby doing?
The baby's doing great. Going to see that. I'm taking 3 days off, November 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I guess that'll be next week. And go up to Greenville, South Carolina, get to hold that little niece of mine.
What's her name?
Lucy Carol Clark.
Lucy Carol Clark. That's good. Well, while I'm on the phone, are you a Trump supporter?
Am I a Trump supporter? No, I think yes, generally speaking. But if I vote in the primary today, I'd probably go with Vivek.
Vivek.
Who would you vote for?
I said Vivek. In the primary, I'd go with Vivek Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy.
He's too much like me and how I think for me not to give him that vote. But I think Trump's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I still think so.
Well, you keep thinking that and think about that.
We'll just have to keep.
All right, you have.
We'll keep praying for him, Gene. He'll come around.
All right, thank you. Bye,
Power of
Joey.
prayer.
Bye, Gene. Eddie, you know me. Do you think shaming me into voting for somebody is going to work?
No, not at all, actually. It makes you run the other way.
All right. Fine, I'll just stay home.
Right.
Well, what about your civic duty? Oh, okay.
Right, I'll play guitar.
Yeah, I got your duty right here, all right? All righty.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Joey.
No, I think Trump is going to be the guy. And the more and more you see of how his poll numbers go up when he's hit by these court
Yeah, well, I meant to ask you that. The gag order, they fined him
$5,000, yes.
So Trump being Trump, does he not throw 20 grand at him and says, "Give me 3 more"?
Yeah, I got 3 more wishes.
I mean, come on. It's like finding me $1. There you go.
I see London. I see France. I see Judge Chutkin's underpants. All right.
Exactly.
And talk about some big underpants. I'm talking about, I don't know if they still refer to it this way, but granny panties?
I think he's an underoos kind of guy.
Underoos.
Underoos.
Well, underoos. What's that term?
That's what I didn't remember. Well, yeah, it's your generation. You got to grow up wearing underoos. You got to wear Spider-Man underwear and Superman. So you were like underneath your clothes, you were a superhero.
And I've told you this before, but I was Jesus once in a production of Godspell.
Yep.
For Catholic High, and traditionally Jesus wears in the Godspell productions Superman shirt.
Right. I did see that.
And I wore a Superman shirt,
Okay.
just sticking with the tradition of the character. But initially, you have to walk out alone on stage in boxers. Like, essentially, you're reenacting, and John the Baptist, like we had our John the Baptist come from behind the audience up the aisle singing.
Oh, that's pretty dramatic, yeah.
Prepare ye the way of the Lord. And I'm on stage, though, in just boxers. And what I wanted was some Superman boxers.
Yeah.
The Superman
big
emblem
S.
over the key area.
Right.
And both the director of the play and my mother said, no way. And my dad said, well, you can do what you want, but isn't that a little false advertising, son?
Oh, Joey.
And I said, well, Dad, that's a good argument.
Although it's kind of a nightmare on my end, because I used to have that nightmare where I stand in the gym class with nothing but my underwear on and everybody else was dressed out.
Yeah.
You never have that kind of nightmare action?
No, because I wasn't like buff or anything. I was real skinny back then. So it was kind of like, whatever.
I was like a stick person.
I would feel a little more self-conscious today because I got this
Oh, no
belly.
way.
Yeah,
No.
both of us got the
You
belly.
leaned into this now, baby.
No, but luckily we're not like some fellas out there. I've seen you. You look pregnant.
Why
Like,
looking
how
at
you
me when
walking
say
around
that?
like that?
It's not that hard. Looking for another beer. That's what I'm doing. Got some
just-
nachos over there?
Joey, some of us want to be happy.
Right. Joey, if World War III's coming, I've got to go ahead and build up my reserves.
Right.
It's
Joey,
very
some
important.
of us are actually men, not some like neurotic like woman man like you are.
Do you have a three-way mirror at home so you can check yourself all the way around? So you're
Do
not, that
have the-
far. Good.
No, I am not that vain.
Good.
Though I hate when you go to like a hotel room
Yeah.
and it's different lighting, different mirror, and you're like, oh, dadgum, I am fat.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, Joey.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, why are they putting a vanity mirror in here?
And it's usually a really big one.
Anyway, hey, looks like Mitch McConnell's still alive.
Okay, Mitch?
I think it's a competition between him and Madonna, who croaks first. Actually, Madonna's already dead.
I saw her in a picture, I think this weekend she was doing something, and you're right. She looks like she died about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's rough.
It's real bad. But here, let's go to McConnell talking about how wonderful this whole Russia-Ukraine war thing is.
Oh, really?
It's all interconnected.
And you've said that you believe there is enough oversight of aid to Ukraine. Why hasn't that persuaded some members of the Republican caucus?
If you look at the Ukraine assistance, let's talk about where the money's really going.
Mm-hmm.
A significant portion of it's being spent in the United States in 38 different states, replacing the weapons that we sent to Ukraine with more modern weapons. So we're rebuilding our industrial base.
That's what President Biden's seeking to do.
It's correct. No Americans are getting killed in Ukraine. We're rebuilding our industrial base. The Ukrainians are destroying the army of one of our biggest rivals. I have a hard time finding anything wrong with that. I think it's wonderful that they're defending themselves. And also the notion that the Europeans are not doing enough. They've done almost $90 billion. They're housing a bunch of refugees who escaped. I think that our NATO allies in Europe have done quite a lot.
Gonna pause it there because you would think the minority leader of the Senate would have inside knowledge we don't have.
You ain't got jack, man.
Right. But, like, how many times do y'all say Afghanistan's going great? We gotta stay.
Well,
just going great.
He's such a dumbass. He said he doesn't see anything wrong with it. What about, and what he doesn't mention, the $233 million a day? I think we're going to pretty good.
Well, but he's saying most of that's going in the rebuilding our industrial base in 38 states. See, and I don't even believe that.
No, the cash is going over there. They're not sending anything back over here to rebuild nothing with. The cash is going over there.
Also, money that is being spent on new weapons, like, is this being done in an efficient manner so we can actually compete on a cost basis, on a capability basis?
Blank check. We're at war. Blank check, baby. We just need the weapons. We need them now.
Yeah. Like, can we build, like, if we wanted to build, like, a bunch of F-35s,
Okay.
we were like, man, this platform actually is working out. Can we do it just in the United States?
We could, but are we set up to do that now? No, it's beyond ridiculous. Remember where some of our parts come from? China.
Well, it's good to know our leadership, though, is...
No, that right there, that picture you see there, that is the problem with our leadership right now. You got one guy, they couldn't walk down a flight of stairs without an oxygen tank, and he's a leader.
272-9228. This is part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And they're at River Region Contracting. Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours.
Yeah,
they're
they
the premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. And they can help you out whether you got a metal roof or an asphalt roof. Either one, metal or asphalt, should be checked every 3 to 5 years for basic preventative maintenance.
Yep.
And, even if you got it checked 6 months ago, maybe you've been worried about some storms that rolled through.
We really have.
It could be you want to just double check. And here's the great news. Their inspections are free there at River Region Contracting.
100% free, Joey.
And if they do find a problem, that estimate, also free.
Yeah.
And it gets better. They're also insurance specialists.
Very true.
So if they find a problem with your roof that your insurance company may pay for, they can walk you through that claims process there at River Region Contracting.
They're really good at that.
And make it an easy and swift experience. So call up Todd Clark and his team today, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't believe y'all anymore.
Thank you.
I'm not sitting here saying I have all the answers, but it just sounds like more of the same.
I think we're doing
And if we're doing more of the same, what got us to this point doesn't exactly inspire confidence.
Well, they've lied to you once before, Joey. What makes you think they would lie to you again and again and again?
And the kicker is, the incentives are, if they screw up, we have to give up more of our wealth, more of our liberties, and some of your kids and grandkids are going to go off to war and die.
Yep.
For what? Defending the homeland? Why is it that we have, after 9/11, they're like, we got to create a new department. We really dropped the ball here. And we need more money. And we need more power that violates the Bill of Rights. But so what are we going to call it? The Department of National Security. We already have the Defense Department, sir. Oh, we got to come up with a new word for, we'll call it Homeland Security.
Ah.
Don't you love how it's gender neutral? Not fatherland, not motherland. Fatherland's a little too German. Motherland's a little too Russian.
Well, Israel is the motherland. They keep referring to it as her.
So, we'll call it Homeland Security. But Homeland Security is completely different than national defense.
This should be one and the same. But just because one screwed up, they said, we need another. We need another.
Right.
What happens when they both screw up, Joey?
Well, then we got to build another institution out.
It's a pyramid scheme, Joey. It's a pyramid scheme.
Right. We'll be right back.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
There are two types of drivers in the world: people who own a vehicle or boat and people who love them. If you love your vehicle and boat, treat it like you do by contacting the Works Auto Detail. Kyle will come to you, leaving your vehicle and boat looking better than ever. With 20 years of detailing experience, the Works Auto Detail offers mobile detailing, paint correction, and ceramic coating services. Ask about the 10% discount for all military, first responders, and teachers. Check out the Works Auto Detail with an X online at theworksautodetail.com, on Facebook and Instagram.
Next contestant.
Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and what better way to spread joy than by giving back to those in need? We're calling on all of you, our generous listeners, to make this holiday season extra special for those who might be struggling. Join us for our annual holiday food drive, benefiting the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. It's simple. Just gather those non-perishable food items like canned goods, pasta, rice from your pantry, and drop them off at any of our convenient sponsor locations across the river region. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can feed families in need this holiday season. Starting October 30th, bring your donations to Physical Therapy and Balance Centers in Prattville, Rick's Jewelers, or Riverside Chevrolet. Donate what you can. It's Blue Water Broadcasting's annual holiday food drive.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather.
We've got a very warm forecast on this last week of October, and our extended dry period continues. Today, a good bit of sunshine with a high temperature in the lower 80s. Partly cloudy, mid-50s tonight. I think we'll be near 80 Tuesday and Wednesday with more sun. And it looks like low to mid-80s for Thursday and Friday, still storm-free. Our rain prospects are not good. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon.
They're out there playing Battleship out there, aren't they, Joey? Now they're talking about the interactions of the ships. Very alarming. They're coming close to each other and just playing like bullies on a playground. They'll do the same with planes, too. They'll have the planes combine buzz the ships. And they're just looking for that.
Well, and you know, sometimes like you'll see a guy before a fight like brag.
Yeah.
And they pull it off, like a Conor McGregor, for instance,
Yes.
and then until Habib hits him in the face
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Until the right person hits you in the face. That swag kind of betrays your ability. And right now, we continue to act like what did Biden say? We can do anything.
Man, I saw that again this weekend.
And it's like, it
found that
makes
so
me
disturbing.
nervous that we're run by folks that are acting like it's still like the 1991.
Right. Again, the guy can't even walk up a flight of steps, but he's more than willing to volunteer everybody else in this world to fight for.
Let's go to Jerry. This is Jerry Todd.
Jerry Todd,
The
that's
Jerry
right.
Todd?
Hey, JT. Hey, yeah.
How you doing, sir?
How are you guys?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
Oh, that's always good. You're sounding really good.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to throw out that I am an adoptive parent. I heard you talking about adoption earlier.
Yes, sir.
So I know what it's all about. And I wouldn't change things for the world.
Right. Incredibly
So I
rewarding,
encourage
was it
anybody-
not?
That's right. It was. And it is.
Mm-hmm.
Very much, very, very much so. Hey, lighten the mood for you a little bit this weekend. We got a big event down at the Kickback Ranch and Event Center.
Oh.
What you got?
Frontier Days. Benefiting the Cancer Wellness Foundation. We're going to have games, face painting, petting zoo, vendor, food trucks, and live music. We're going to have country music, bluegrass music. You can get a little goat therapy, a little duck therapy, turkey therapy. Let's see, what other kind of therapy can you get? Oh, the rabbit therapy.
Oh, that's always good. Now, let me ask you about the face painting. If an adult were to show up and request some face painting, would they be turned away?
No. Some adults need face painting.
Yes, we do.
You know what I'm talking about? It goes a long way for some of us.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes, you come out, and I tell you what, you just request me to paint your face. I'll be more than glad.
I might just show you what I already had someone else do. I might find you and just say, hey, look, Jerry, I got it done.
Yeah. You can do that. That would be really good. That would be good. Oh, you guys keep sounding good. Anyway, I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit and invite everybody out to the Kickback Ranch in Ada, Alabama.
Frontier Days. Well, I appreciate it, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, guys.
See you, brother.
Let's hit this very quick break.
All right.
Hopefully have Ray Bowles on the other side.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Eddie, you know the rules.
If you're going to cough, please leave the room.
I didn't know you hit the mics already. My bad.
Just saying. I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed. I'm just reminding you of
There's
the
sickness in my family, Joey. I'm working on it.
We talking about the curse?
It could be
the Bader curse.
Well, that curse is always there. That sickness is always there.
Go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
What's happening, Ray?
Oh, just another beautiful day out here. In the
It was
neighborhood.
gorgeous
I'm sitting
today.
here waiting on the mail truck. I realized a lot of people don't know this. When we do the ads, y'all call my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I'm in somebody's home when my phone rings, so I'll step out the front door to say, "Hey guys, I got to do a live ad. I'll be right back." And as I'm walking out, I see the mail truck coming down the road, and I realize my guys have blocked their mailbox.
Oh.
So now I'm doing a live ad, trying to convince people to come over and see us to put the floors in, let us put the floors in, and I'm waiting on the mail truck so I can get the mail at the same time. Now, that's service, isn't it?
That's working it right there, buddy. That's working it well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in the middle of October. The prices are not going to get any better than they are right now. So if you're thinking about a floor in the next 3 months, please call us at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down. Just that easy.
But what if I don't want to put it down in October?
Hey, I'll wait till January.
Oh.
We just got to buy it.
Okay,
right.
I like that now. So
Yeah,
again,
we've got to buy it. I'll hold on to it in the warehouse, and then when you're ready for it, we'll come and put it in for you.
So again, folks, that number for Prattville Carpet, 285-8117. You can also always go to prattvillecarpet.com or just stop by the showroom there, 2201 Cobbsford Road. Actually, that's a great way to shop this sale because you can actually see the material in person there.
And we want you to take the product home, look at it, make sure it's going to match, and sign off on it. Next thing you know, you got a new floor down. Just that simple.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, Ray.
Guys, y'all have a great day.
You too.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. I think what happened, it's been a good show today, but both of us didn't get much sleep last night.
I wrestled a lot last night.
You wrestled a lot?
Yeah. If I don't take, and I've got to get back on, if I don't take NyQuil, I literally, like I'm a wrestler all night long, one side of the bed to the other. I have to have something that just shuts me down like an elephant dart.
Or wait, are you addicted to NyQuil?
No, I can sleep without it. It's just not
Not
good.
well.
No, not good for anyone in the room.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, my mind sometimes gets going and I just can't.
NyQuil.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but then I get up groggy.
Dayquil.
Oh, goodness. They've got you hooked. Big Pharma's got Eddie. You think it's just the vaccines.
Since I didn't take the vax, they got me another way.
Dang it. If, folks, again, to reiterate, if you have not seen that movie, They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix, especially if you like the old like blaxploitation style and like conspiracy movies, these sorts of things, in the vein of The Matrix or The Truman Show or They Live. Fantastic movie, but Eddie reminds me of a character in that movie.
Which one?
It's
Jamie
like,
Foxx?
Any of them, where you're like, or John Boyega, where you're like, I'm wise to this. I'm wise to this. And then they've got you another
Right,
way,
I'm in the middle of it.
Right, no.
I know what's going on.
At a certain point, you realize, oh, crap, there's no way I'm dealing with it.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it when they were at the chicken restaurant, and that's when it hit.
Right.
It's
in the
getting us.
chicken.
That's how they're getting us.
Well, and a lot of different ways they're getting folks.
Yeah.
Good movie. Y'all check it out. And anything we at war yet?
No, I think that's why we have so many of our delegation going over there. It's just kind of prevent Israel from going in. I wish we wouldn't do that, but
well, let's go to line one.
Oh, okay.
You're on the air. Who's this?
This is Ole Miss.
Hey, Ole Miss.
How y'all been doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, bro?
Sleepy but good.
Pretty good. Y'all jogged my memory, and I didn't hear y'all talking about it. About 3 weeks ago, it came out that they were having to destroy about 150 acres of corn that was grown right next to a federal experimental field. And the reason they had to destroy it was because, and this led to the other discovery, they were using a corn that had been given medication for pigs to keep them from getting diarrhea when they were fed, losing weight. Well, the bees cross-pollinated with a civilian patch, and according to them, whoever ate the corn, they weren't sure what it was going to do, so they recalled it. I can't remember the number. There were certain people who told them they had bought a native, they had to go get a colonoscopy because they don't know what this drug in the corn will do to humans. Because, you know, all the drugs for animals they're stronger than humans.
Yes.
Well, come to find out, during the investigation of this, they've also, in UCLA and one of the other California colleges, they got federal grants in 2021 to take the vaccine from COVID and put it in lettuce and other green products. And during the investigation, they found out that they're also going to try and put it in seed products, so if you grow your own food, try not to buy what they're putting drugs in now. You can't even determine which of the seed products has the vaccine in and which ones don't.
You know, I don't know if it's Ole Miss, if it's just doing this job for as long as I have. I've always wanted to resist the, like, Alex Jones level of things, but the more I do this job, the more I hear stuff like that, because I've seen those things, too.
Right.
It's like maybe we are run by literal demons.
Well, this was put on 93.9, so it was on a regular news channel. I think they're an associate of yours. That's why I don't listen to the 3 o'clock in the morning crap. I just listen to y'all and some of the other news agencies that are supposed to be above board.
Yeah.
But I was surprised when I heard it, and it would have been covered up, but the federal government side got into the civilian side, and there was an investigation before they could stop it.
Well, I appreciate the call, Miss.
Yep, y'all take care.
You too, buddy.
Let's fit one other person before we got to close up. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Sam.
I
I'm
knew it was
very
going to be Sam.
upset.
I knew
Why?
it was going to be Sam.
Why would people want to make Katie Britt cry? Senator Britt. Dog is terrible. That's all I got. It is, man. She's our Alabama secret weapon. And they've trotted her out there, and she's mad. She's upset with Hamas. Oh, man, there's going to be hell to pay. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in all this.
We'll see what happens,
later
Sammy.
on the week, I want to talk about it, okay? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, after your Prince fan message over the night, I'm like, I don't know if I need to encourage this guy.
See?
Prince, man, Prince.
Yeah, no, that was just gross. I was like, oh no.
Actually, well, let's let all that go. Hey, top show, man, really, top-notch show. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sammy.
Appreciate you, Eddie.
Appreciate you, Joe.
Y'all stay tuned. Greg Vito with Happy Hours next. I believe he's got David Blackman as usual coming up. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. As airstrikes in Gaza continue, Israel has continued to trade fire with Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group in the north on a near daily basis since the war began. The United